Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us this Wednesday afternoon here on Fox Local. That's where we're streaming, and we're also streaming on several social media pages like Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Thanks for joining this news conversation. We have a lot of stories to get to this afternoon. First, I want to take you out live to a scene out in Roswell. This is breaking news, new information to us. This is video here showing police presence near Highway 92 and Laurel Lake Road as a shooting investigation is underway there. Details are still coming in right now, but investigators tell us the victim was shot at a separate location in Cobb County before driving into Roswell's jurisdiction, prompting this large police response. Roswell police tell us the victim is alert, conscious, and breathing, which is some good news out of this story. They were shot at least one time. We will bring you updates on this story as we learn more. Again, this is live video that we're showing you. I know you can't see much, but you do see that caution tape and the crime scene unit there, Cobb County Police on scene. This area, again, is Highway 92 and Laurel Lake Road. We'll come back to this story as we receive more information this afternoon. And continuing with our headlines this afternoon, so authorities are asking for your help to identify an armed and dangerous suspect here, wanted in another stabbing here. He's wanted for questioning, though, in connection with a stabbing at the Georgia Tech MARTA station. So another MARTA stabbing. Investigators last saw the suspect on your screen at the transit station on May 24th, just before 1:30 p.m. And he was wearing the outfit that you see him wearing on your screen: plaid shirt, black pants, a black hat, and tan sneakers. So the victim here was stabbed several times at the rail station that day, and responding emergency crews took the victim to a local hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. This victim here expected to survive, but if you have any information about the identity of this person or the location of the suspect, you're urged to call Augusta Transit Police. Now, remember, this is just one of a couple recent stabbings, unfortunately, on MARTA trains. A woman, a mother, we've been telling you about this story. 66-year-old Margaret Swan was stabbed to death on Saturday. Her accused killer, 25-year-old John Elijah Matthews, now faces a federal charge. But this brings me to our next story. So Atlanta's public transit agency, the MARTA, of course, is facing big challenges with days to go before the World Cup. And those challenges compounded over the weekend into the first week of June. Again, the most glaring issue here, I just mentioned, riders are worried about safety after this deadly random knife attack, the stabbing on the train at the Oakland City Station on Saturday. Then on top of that, the agency is still having some trouble rolling out its new tap-to-pay fare gates, including some that have already been shattered in several stations across the system. And then on Tuesday, so yesterday, MARTA reps said the long-anticipated new rail cars did not get the safety certification necessary to begin revenue service. So a lot happening here with MARTA. We spoke with riders about this. Let's listen to what they had to say.
Do you feel safe after seeing what you saw the other day?
No. But I mean, I have no choice. I have to get back and forth to work or whatnot.
I'm very disappointed that all of the new gates aren't up and running. I'm very disappointed to see all of the pictures online of shattered glass on the new gates. I'm concerned because, with all the crime that has happened in the past couple of weeks at MARTA stations, it makes you wonder if we have invested enough in MARTA police.
And we'll continue to update you on this story and talk about this. I know many people are expressing concerns. MARTA officials declined our request to speak on camera about these issues, but they did say in an email that extra officers will work overtime to patrol trains, buses, and stations during the soccer tournament, the World Cup. But guys, happening right now is a live press conference. Atlanta police speaking on a cold case dating back to 1999. Let's take a listen to what they're saying. Same
age, so today he'd be around late 50s. He was known to the Bankhead area, Donnelly Hollowell area, as a mechanic. And it did stem, appears to be like a domestic situation that it might have been from. So we were really employing the public's help in trying to identify this male. We do believe that somebody out there knows who this male would be. And like I stated, the information we do have is a male, light complexion, possibly by a Generis or a Generis. So any information that anybody can bring to light would help us in our investigation. And once again, we like to, Crime Stoppers or 404-577-TIPS is always beneficial. And right now I'd like to turn it over to Miss Loyal, who is Miss Lockhart's daughter.
I was only 5 years old when my mother was taken from me. And at that age, you don't fully understand what has happened. One night she's there, smiling, laughing, and being your mom. And the next morning she's gone. And as a child, I couldn't comprehend why she was gone or why our lives had changed forever. But as I grew older, the confusion turned into a need for answers. I wanted to understand what happened to my mother. I wanted to know why she was taken from us and who was responsible. And like anyone searching for answers, I spent years trying to learn more about her. Along the way, I heard countless stories from people who knew and loved her. They spoke of her kindness, her warmth, and the love she gave to those around her. Many of those memories were ones that I was too young to remember myself. But through their stories, I was able to know her in a way that I otherwise couldn't. Yet despite all of those stories, the questions that mattered still remained unanswered. And that was part of my motivation for becoming a police officer myself. Because that search for answers, every day I have the privilege of helping others find justice, uncover the truth, and gain the closure that they deserve. But when it comes to my own mother, my family and I are still searching for that same closure. More than 2 decades have passed since I lost my mother at just 5 years old. Her children, her family, and everyone who loved her have carried that loss every day since. My mother deserves justice. Our family deserves answers. And we are hopeful that someone, somewhere, can help us learn the truth. So if anyone has any information, no matter how small it may seem, we're asking you to please come forward. One piece of information could make all the difference. It could help bring answers to a family that has been wanting and waiting for the answers for too long. My mother deserves justice, and our family deserves the truth.
Question. Can you speak to some of the challenges and putting a focus on this so many years later?
It is challenging, especially due to, the technology issues that we have, we run into today, which are very beneficial to cases. But, going back 27 years later, and the time that the incident happened, and really the last 2 witnesses were her young children. So it is hard, but that's why we come forward and ask for the public's help. Somebody out there knows something, and, I try to employ people to put themselves in Miss Loyal's position. She lost her mother. So somebody out there knows something. And place yourself in those shoes, that if you know something, it's going to help a family get some relief.
For the family, as you were talking, I believe the family over here as well, we see the emotions. Can you just talk maybe to our audience a little bit more about, life goes on for other people, but for you and the family, those answers are so important, and how critical that might be to help in this case?
Yes, like I stated, I am a police officer, and it's a different feeling when you can help others. But when you can't get the answers for yourself, it really hurts. So that's why it's so important to me, because I want the justice. Nobody seems to know anything other than what we already have at this point. So I'm just asking for help.
And what department are you a police officer in?
DeKalb County.
Was this part of the reason why you went into law enforcement?
Yes.
For someone who might not know your mom, how would you describe her personality?
I don't remember much about her, honestly. I was so young. I can only go based off of stories that other people have told me. The most I get is, you look exactly like her. But they say she was a kind heart. She was the candy lady of the neighborhood. She would fix hot plates and sell it to everyone. That's how she made her living. But she was always that person that you could go to, and she had some wealth of knowledge that she could provide to you on how to get things done.
Is the residence that's involved, does it have anything to do with your family currently, or?
No.
For the investigators, any physical attributes, any physical things for the person you're looking for that might be able to help? I know time has ticked on, but anything we might be able to help in this?
So unfortunately, the description is pretty bare. Light skin, black male, but it sounds like he stayed around that what is deemed the Bankhead area, the Donnelly Hollow area, and as we all know, even today, it's a tight-knit community. So that's kind of what we're hoping for, is that tight-knit community will come forward with any kind of information. A mechanic that was in the area, also known to be a heavy drinker. So we just employ anybody who, if this sounds familiar, whether it's exactly that person, if you feel like it sounds familiar, it might be them, to reach out to Crime Stoppers or to our office and just let us know something.
You have an approximate age of how old he would have been back then and now?
Based on her age, she would have been 29 at the time of her unfortunate death. So that would make her approximately 56 years of age this year. So we're thinking maybe, mid to late 50s, generally around there.
Are there any details you can share about when this happened, as far as was it day, was it night, what time of day? Who was at the house at the time?
So only person we know, so we do know that there were 4 people at the home. We know Miss Lockhart, Miss Loyal, and her brother, and the boyfriend, who we're trying to locate and speak with now. So, and it was in the early hours that we were alerted. Yeah.
Last question from Fox 5. Could you speak to the conscience of whoever you're looking for? If he's watching, family members watching, what would you want him to know?
I would just want him to know to come forward, just bring some peace to the family, and let us know what happened. Obviously, there's circumstances that we need to understand and what happened that night. It's the family needs peace, and they need some resolvement of what happened to their mother. Like Miss Loyal stated, she doesn't know much about her mother, unfortunately, because somebody took her life. So it's very unfortunate, and we just like to bring peace to a family.
All right. With that said, please make sure we will share this. Please share this with your audiences. If there are any updates, we'll let you know. It'll be posted on our website. But we will make sure you get this documentation so you will have these photos and this information. Thank you.
Bridget Lockhart. All right, again, you just listened to Atlanta police speak in this press conference here surrounding this cold case. Victim here, Bridget Lockhart, she went missing, disappeared July 31st in 1999. Officials are asking for a boyfriend to come forward, and also, if anyone knows information, of course, to reach out to Atlanta police in hopes that they'll solve this. She was a mom. She left behind kids. So a very important story here to talk about, and also for you to come forward if you do have information on this. Reach out to Atlanta police. Time right now is 1:14. When we return, we'll get into some of our top stories today, including what Fox 5 is working on. These are the stories that you can catch on our broadcast show on Fox 5. These are the stories that reporters are covering. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for joining our news conversation this afternoon. It is Wednesday, June 3rd. A lot happening today. We've been following a lot of different stories, so let's get into them. Let's talk about what our reporters are covering this afternoon and bring in our Cal Calloway, Fox 5 managing editor. Cal, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Jasmine, good afternoon. As you say, it's already been a busy news day. Let's start first with a news conference that happened in the noon hour outside the state capitol. This was a news conference conducted by DeKalb County District Attorney Sherry Boston. She was joined by some other district attorneys at that news conference. Ms. Boston announced she is filing a lawsuit against the state of Georgia. The subject matter is a new state law that we've talked about on this stream several times. This was a controversial state law that set up nonpartisan elections in several local races in 5 metro Atlanta counties, DeKalb being one of those counties. Now, supporters of the law, which has been signed into law by Governor Brian Kemp, say this will bring more accountability for those elected officials. Opponents, such as the district attorneys who attended this news conference today, say it is specifically targeting counties where Democrats have made major gains in the last 6 years. In the 5 counties that I just mentioned, all of those counties have district attorneys who are African-American women. So Ms. Boston is going to court to try to get that law thrown out. Our Kevin Stewart was at that news conference. We'll have a report from him at 4, 5, and 6 tonight. At another news conference that happened about 11 o'clock this morning, this was in East Point, over a story we've been following for the last few weeks. This is where East Point police announced that they suspect no foul play in the death of 20-year-old Derek Samuel. Samuel's body was found after a search on Sunday in East Point. The remains were found in the Camp Creek marketplace where he was last seen. The family of the young man, however, disagrees strongly with the findings from East Point police. They believe that Derek would not have harmed himself. In fact, they cite the fact that he has a twin sister as a reason he would not have taken his own life. But still, the findings from East Point police at this point is that this was self-inflicted death. Annie Mapp has been covering this story since the disappearance began. We'll have a report from her. And in South Fulton this morning, another news conference. This was conducted by the mother of a young man who was shot by Rockdale County deputies. She was joined at that news conference by civil rights attorney Ben Crump, and her 19-year-old son was at that news conference. He is on crutches as a result of that shooting. The mother says that she had gotten in contact in April for 3 days with Rockdale County deputies, telling them that her son was suffering some sort of mental health crisis. On April 13th, deputies responded. They found the 19-year-old. He was completely naked. And again, he was suffering from what the family says was some sort of mental health crisis. At this news conference today, the attorney shared video of the incident. Allie Levine is on that story for us. So we'll have those stories and much, much more in Fox 5 News at 4, 5, and 6. And you'll hear from those reporters coming up this afternoon on Fox Local at 2 and 3 o'clock. So Jasmine, it's already been a busy news day. Back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cal, for joining us to talk about this. We'll let you get back to work, guys. And some of those stories that we've been covering today, we brought that news conference to you live in the 11 o'clock show. Actually, two of them we brought live to you in the 11 o'clock show, where East Point police gave that update on Derek Samuel on that case. And then also the family seeking justice after their 19-year-old was shot by a Rockdale deputy. So we're continuing to follow these stories. And like Cal said, our reporters will give you updates later on this afternoon. Let's talk about another story that is trending on our website here. So gas prices, they reportedly increased overnight, and we are all feeling the impact at the pump after the state's temporary suspension of the motor fuel tax expired overnight, sending gas prices sharply higher across the state. Now, this suspension, which had been in place since March, ended at 11:59 last night after Governor Brian Kemp decided not to extend the tax break Now, this move restored roughly 30 cents per gallon to the price of gasoline, and by this morning, many drivers were already noticing the difference. Gas stations that have been charging around $3.80 per gallon, which is already a lot, were posting prices above $4.19 this morning in Atlanta. So, unlike a similar suspension back in 2022, if you all remember that, that actually lasted for several months. This one, state leaders chose not to continue that tax relief again this time. So according to AAA, I did check on some gas prices for you ahead of the show. Georgia's average gas price reached about $3.79 per gallon today, which is, of course, a significant jump from recent weeks. And the increase here could have a noticeable impact on household budgets. We know that people have been speaking about that already. So experts say several other factors could influence prices in the coming days, in the coming months. The ongoing tensions in the Middle East, that war with Iran between the U.S. and Israel, and concerns about global oil supplies are expected to keep gas prices high and volatile in the short term. So we'll see how everything plays out here. Of course, we're hoping that there will be an end soon to the war with Iran, and also that gas prices stay low, decrease and stay decreased, if that makes sense. But time is 1:22. When we return, we will catch up with our Eli Jordan. He's on a lighter story, so a little more positive. We'll come back with some positive news when we come back. Thank you for joining us here at Fox 5 News Live. Let's talk about this positive story here. If you spot jugglers, some puppets, comedians maybe, or circus performers taking over the streets of Little 5 Points, it's all part of the show. Don't be alarmed here. So Atlanta Street Fringe is back for a third year, turning one of the city's most eclectic neighborhoods into a free outdoor stage packed with live performances and much more. Fox 5's Eli Jordan is here to give us a preview. Eli, this sounds like an incredible time. Tell us more about it.
Oh yeah, it's the 14th annual Atlanta Fringe Festival, and it's going on tonight, tomorrow night, Friday night, and even into the weekends with the street busking and all that. I'm out here in front of 7 stages. It's in Little 5 Points, just a couple doors down from the Variety Playhouse, and they are kind of the heart of what's going on for the Fringe Festival. And they have, events going on. If you want to get out tonight, you can come check it out here at 7 stages. They got starting at 7 p.m. tonight, 7 p.m. tomorrow night, going on 3 different shows, 3 different acts. They got another stage backstage. They got 2 stages here, 3 different shows, 3 different acts. So you can come out here tonight, tomorrow, and Friday night, and then Saturday starting at 1:45, and same thing on Sunday. And there's a lot going on around in the East Atlanta area, Little 5, with the Atlanta Street Fringe Festival and the Fringe Festival itself. And I spoke with the founder and CEO of the Atlanta Fringe Festival, Diana Brown, about the event today, and here's what she has to say.
7 Stages is our HQ and one of our favorite places in Atlanta. We also have the supermarket over on North Highland. We're using 3 venues there, so they're hosting tons of shows. And we've got Metropolitan Studios in East Atlanta and Dynamic El Dorado on Edgewood Avenue.
And they're having performances all week long throughout even tonight.
Exactly right. There's going to be 21 shows tonight at pretty much everywhere you go. So you
got a lineup there, don't you?
Yeah, I do. We've got.
So this is what the Fringe. I mean, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's 2 weeks worth of stuff. And where can people find this? Do you have a website?
We are at atlantafringe.org. You can get this digitally. You can get our entire program digitally. You can see every single show's information, where they're from, what they're trying to do here. It's a lot of information, but very much worth it. And of course, you can buy tickets there as well.
And $18, but you can get package deals.
That's right. We have multi-show passes, so you can get 6 shows for the price of 5 or 10 shows for the price of 8.
And real quick, Street Fringe. That's kind of like a little bit grungier and crunchier, and that's where I guess here at Little 5 and Finley Plaza, that kind of comes in, because we're used to seeing buskers here and all that, but this is a little tweaked up a little bit, isn't it?
Yes, we have a wonderful Street Fringe director named Louis Kuiper, who is very familiar with busking as a busker himself. So he's put together a really lovely program. We've got like a lot of music. There's a mermaid singing and doing storytelling. There are circus performers. There are magicians. It's all kinds of different things going on. So the idea is that you'll get a lot of surprising, unexpected free performances as you're walking around Little 5 Points.
So I guess somebody can make a weekend out of it.
That's right, 100% make a weekend out of it.
Starting tonight, too.
Start tonight and go all the way till Sunday.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Diana Brown, CEO, founder of Atlanta Fringe.
That's
right.
Thank
you so much. 14 years.
Atlanta Fringe, come on with us.
Yeah, come on out. It's going to be a great weekend. It's the final weekend and final week of the Atlanta in Little 5 Points. You can see the street busking. Those are free shows, but here, venue like 7 stages, pay $18 to see a show or get the package deal. And what's really neat, what I like about this, Jasmine, is that how they chose the performers. It's very organic. There's a lottery. They put the names in the hat, and they just drew from the hat, and that's how they determined. And this thing has been expanding for the past 14 years, and it just keeps growing and growing. And so come on out, check it out. It's going to be a beautiful weekend coming up for the Street Fringe, see the buskers and performances, and then maybe get a ticket to and hang out tonight, tomorrow night, Friday night, leading into the weekend for Atlanta Street Fringe. Here at 7 stages, and go to atlantafringe.org to find out more information. Jasmine, back to you.
Hey, Eli, thanks so much for joining us to talk about this event happening this weekend. Sounds like a great time. Eli, we'll check in with you a little bit later this afternoon. Another fun story here with the World Cup. Coming to Atlanta in literally less than 2 weeks, local students are getting a chance to score big both on and off the field. A special summer clinic that is combining soccer and STEM education. Fox 5's Maria Guzman joins us now to show more.
We're at the East Lake MARTA station here, where a soccer summer clinic is taking place, and is all being hosted by Soccer in the Streets and Amazon, as coaches with the program and teach kids all about the fundamentals of soccer.
Yeah, so Soccer in the Streets, our mission is to improve the lives of kids by providing access to the benefit of sport through high-quality, community-based soccer programs. We want to break down the barriers, whether it's monetary, whether it's transit, whether it's resources. We want to break down those barriers and take the game to the kids. Sport is so important. It can teach kids discipline, patience, respect, communication, teamwork, all the great life skills that can carry them through. Pure joy has been the response of the kids today. You know, they love it. They fall in love with the game. They enjoy playing with their friends. Yeah, and it's just joy. It's been a huge interest, you know. I mean, a lot of people are reaching out to us as an organization to work with us. And, you know, it's exciting times with the World Cup coming. Well, soccer brings together so many cultures because it's so beloved across the world. So I think that cultural aspect and learning about diverse places, new people, new cultures, I think is a beautiful thing, bringing people together, the unity.
This soccer clinic has welcomed about 100 kids from the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Atlanta, an awesome team, to see if they have what it takes to be in the next World Cups. All the way from Decatur, I'll send things back to you.
All right, Maria, thanks so much for joining us to talk about that fun summer clinic. Time right now is 1:31. When we return, we'll take a look at some of our top stories. Welcome back here to Fox 5 News Live. Like we mentioned before, a lot of stories that we're covering and following up on today. First, let's talk about Derek Samuel. I know a lot of people on social media and the comment section are asking questions about this. So a news conference was held earlier today by the East Point Police Department. And we do know that the 20-year-old he was found according to his family. So police do believe that the remains that were found a couple of days ago are his, but they have not confirmed that. So here's a little bit of what was announced in that news conference from the East Point Police Department. So one thing they said, they do not suspect foul play in the death of the 20-year-old, and the remains, again, that were recovered, they're believed to be his. And so, again, they stated during this news conference that they're still working on finding out more information here. A lot of information was not released, but I know many of you have questions. We all have questions on this case, but we do know that the family has confirmed that those remains are his. Police have not yet confirmed, and we'll update you as soon as we learn more. Again, his body was reportedly found in a wooded area, according to his family. Police believe no foul play suspected. And many of you are asking questions. We're going to keep digging and asking questions as well. But just an update on that story of the missing 20-year-old Derek Samuel, who went missing back in April, at the end of April, and who has reportedly now been found, according to family members. So we have a reporter on that story, and that reporter will also bring you updates. Our Annie Map is the reporter, and she'll bring you updates on that later this afternoon. So be sure to stick with Fox 5 as we continue to search for answers, too, in that story. So another story that we're digging into, police are looking for a group of people after a 16-year-old was shot in the Atlanta area. And here's some video, new video that they released. They're looking for a group of people of interest after this group reportedly stalked and shot a 16-year-old as he walked down an Atlanta street. The violence erupted at approximately 12:45 this past Sunday, 12:45 p.m., so during the afternoon hours, when officers rushed to Mason Turner Road Northwest after receiving a report of a person shot. Investigators say the 16-year-old male was walking down the street when a group of males began tailing him. The group then opened fire, striking the teen in the shoulder. So what a very scary situation here. Again, a 16-year-old walking down the street. This group reportedly stalks him and then starts shooting him. So paramedics found this victim alert, conscious, and breathing before taking him to the hospital. Officials have not yet confirmed the identities of these people, of course, but they're still working to figure out why this happened. And police have not released an update on the condition, the current medical condition of the 16-year-old victim. But if you have any information, you saw this play out on Mason Turner Road, reach out to the Atlanta Police Department. They are offering a reward of up to $5,000 for any information leading to the arrest of suspects. A story out of Fayette County now. The Fayette County Sheriff's Office sounding the alarm on this scam here. This is after it discovered illegal credit card skimming devices attached to cash registers at 3 different Dollar General stores. Customers even reported their credit card information was stolen. So the Sheriff's Office shared video showing an investigator removing a skimming overlay, and that's what you see on your screen. This is from a checkout keypad, and you can tell that is pretty creepy there, but that's how scammers are getting people. This again at a Fayette County Dollar General store. These data theft devices here are manufactured to look as real as possible. That looked real, allowing thieves to place them directly on top of the actual store keypad. And when a customer swipes their card, their account information, all the details are saved on this hidden device as the card passes through to the real register reader. Similar criminal equipment was recently discovered on cash registers at other Dollar General stores in surrounding areas, including Troup County, Harris County, and Hogansville. Fayette County authorities have not confirmed how long the illegal skimming has been going on at the Dollar General stores in the Fayette County area. But here's what you can do in these situations. Investigators recommend that you inspect your credit card machines closely inside the stores and compare them against neighboring checkout lines. So pretty much just look before you swipe. If one terminal looks different from the rest, there is probably a reason for the variation. Some key warning signs here include a terminal with unlit keypad lights, while neighboring machines are fully lit, or a machine with plastic coating that looks thicker and stands up noticeably above the display screen. So something to look out for. Unfortunately, we do have to look out for this when we go shopping at stores. So make sure that you are remaining vigilant here. And another story that we're following here, Grammy-winning R&B singer Peabo Bryson, best known for some great songs, Disney's Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, has died, sadly. He was 75 years old. His death was confirmed by TMZ, and Bryson's family told TMZ, quote, "With broken hearts and profound sadness, the family of 2-time Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Peabo Bryson announces his passing." So the entertainment news outlet TMZ I'm speaking about here was told that the singer died yesterday, surrounded by his loved ones. And this news comes just days after reports that Bryson was undergoing medical treatment after suffering a stroke. So he is survived by his wife, Tanya Bryson, their son Robert, and his daughter Linda Bryson, also his 3 grandkids. Time is 1:40. Let's talk about what's trending on fox5atlanta.com and here on Fox Local, and bring in our digital content creator, Jameson Moyer. Jameson, thanks so much for joining us to talk about what's trending here.
Hey, Jasmine. Thanks for having me again. I'm excited to dive into what we've got trending on the website.
Yes, absolutely. So first, let's talk about this first story here. This employee speaking out because, or former employee now, because she left the job, speaking out about the rats at her job.
Yeah, it is the kind of workplace story that makes you stop and say, what? A former IRS employee says she quit her job at the Chamblee office after a rat infestation became too much to handle. According to Sydney Monger, workers started seeing rats throughout the building after Memorial Day. She says rodents were being caught daily with traps placed all over the office, even inside employee cubicles. She said she feared being bitten or exposed to disease and decided it was time to leave.
They caught like maybe 3 on the day I quit. They caught like 3 that day, maybe like 5 the day before. They was catching rats every day. I don't know what could have made them pop out, but I know that nothing changed with us. We all come in the building every day. Rats normally be quiet.
One video that we just saw on social media appears to show an employee lifting a trash can and discovering a dead rat inside. The IRS has acknowledged the rodent problem and says it's investigating and taking steps to address the pest issues at the Chamblee Tucker Road location. But for employees at the office, the hope is that those fixes come quickly.
That's right, Jameson. Thanks for giving us an update on this story here. And it's pretty disgusting, those rats.
Yeah.
We got clear pictures of those rodents there on that property at the facility. So that is a pretty disgusting sight and just unsanitary. Let's talk about this story as well, which I'm not surprised it's trending because it's going to impact people who travel on I-285.
Yeah, so heads up drivers, if you're planning to drive in Atlanta this weekend, beware because a major stretch of I-285 is about to completely shut down. Starting Friday night, all northbound and southbound lanes of I-285 between Cascade Road and Martin Luther King Jr. Drive will be closed through early Monday morning. It's the same closure that happened toward the end of last month in May and is a part of a massive reconstruction project with crews grinding concrete and completing major repairs. Transportation officials say drivers should expect heavy delays, not just on 285, but also on I-20, I-75, 85, Langford Parkway, and nearby local roads. The bottom line is just leave early, plan ahead, and expect traffic headaches across Metro Atlanta all weekend long.
Yes, just avoid I-285 if you can, honestly, because I mean,
I know this just happened too. Yeah, in May. It just happened in May, like right before Memorial Day weekend, and then we had rain too, and they had to push it back.
Push it back, yeah. Yes, absolutely. So be safe out there, and if you can, stay off of I-285. Take a different route. So a lighter story here. We know that Usher and Breezy coming to Atlanta this November, but we have some big names coming this summer as well.
We do. So Atlanta is about to become the center of the entertainment world this summer, and not just in soccer. As the city gears up for this year's FIFA World Cup, State Farm Arena is hosting 19 concert nights featuring some of the biggest names in music. We're talking Shakira, A$AP Rocky, Ariana Grande, J. Cole, Lionel Richie, and more taking the stage in downtown Atlanta. It gets even more exciting because one lucky fan could win a pair of tickets to every single summer concert through the arena's golden ticket sweepstakes. So whether you're a music fan, a soccer fan, or both, Atlanta is shaping up to be the place to be this summer.
All right, and that's pretty cool there. I didn't know that there was a sweepstakes involved here. I have to enter myself to be able to go to these concerts, but that is pretty cool. You mentioned some great artists there. Shakira, I was actually just singing some of her songs in the break. And then Ariana Grande, J. Cole. Yeah, so that's an exciting time. Jameson, thanks so much for joining us to talk about what's trending on fox5atlanta.com and Fox Local.
Thank you so much, Jasmine.
And guys, let's talk about this story too. It deals with the World Cup. So Atlanta's Old Fourth Ward is celebrating the launch of the 2026 FIFA World Cup with a 3-day-long festival happening next week. And it includes a bar crawl on Thursday, a big watch party on Friday, and a soccer event for kids on Saturday. Fox 5's Paul Milliken shows us what you can expect.
Hey everybody, it is beautiful out here at historic Old Fourth Ward Park, and I got to tell you right now it's nice and quiet. It is not going to be that way in about a week. On Friday night, a big watch party is happening here. You are invited. Tom would love to see you here. You want this place packed out, right?
We do. We want everybody to come to this free, open event for everybody. Imagine on this field 3 giant LED screens, thousands of people here cheering on USA versus Paraguay.
Yeah.
We've got a band starting at 5 o'clock, Francisco Vidal.
Yeah.
Then we go into Atlanta United's resident DJ, DJ EU.
That's so cool.
Which will be really fantastic. And then we go right into the live stream. We'll have 7 different Old Fourth Ward restaurants here. We have vendors. You can buy some different products. It's really going to be a great time. Come on out.
It is just a big party. And this is part of 3 full days of events here in the Old Fourth Ward. You guys are really going all in. Why did you feel like that was important?
Yeah, we want to make sure that everybody can experience the excitement of World Cup. Number one. Number two, we want to ensure that our local businesses really can capitalize on everything that's going to go on. And then lastly, we have a youth soccer program, which is a legacy that we want to leave behind. Really give kids, particularly those that don't have the opportunity to play youth soccer, an opportunity to really engage in the sport and join the new Old Fourth Ward youth soccer program. So we start on Thursday, June 11th with our bar crawl on both the East Side Beltline and Edgewood. 11 different bars. Get your passport on Thursday. Come on out, free passport. Join any of the bars.
Well, and each one of those bars is sort of themed after a different country in the World Cup, right?
Right. So we have Japan represented. We have the USA represented. Mexico. It's really going to be a great time. Go out and experience that country. Experience maybe a drink or a food from that country,
or a couple drinks.
Or sure. It'll be a great time both on the East Side Beltline and on Edgewood. So that's on Thursday night. The big signature event on Friday night here, the viewing party. And then Saturday morning we have the kids' youth soccer event.
Yeah, amazing. So again, sort of 3 prongs of business, of people, and of the next generation, the impact of the World Cup. You must be fired up. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You've been planning for a while.
This is really going to be great. I mean, we really want people to experience the Old Fourth Ward in all its glory, and this is a great way for us to do it.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to learn about the Old Fourth Ward. Thank you very much. And one of your partners in this is Showcase Atlanta. Look, I've been hearing about Showcase Atlanta for a long time now, a couple of years. So, Lamar, what is Showcase Atlanta?
Showcase Atlanta is a mayoral initiative which wants to look at all of our large-scale events through an equitable and accessible lens. So, one of our 2 pillars are it's our small business readiness and additionally also our community and cultural engagement, which this event here,
it all ties together, right?
Exactly. So we're going to be having vendors here. We're going to make sure the community all comes out, but we want everybody to come out during this time period. We've been putting out some community watch party grants that'll be all around here because we want people to be a tourist in their own town. So we want them to come to the Old Fourth Ward, engage here. There are going to be others that'll be over in Cascade Heights. There'll be ones all around the city, and so we say, hey, listen, while you're here this summer, go around town and visit these watch parties to enjoy it.
Yeah, so cool. All right, well, so when people are here, again, there's going to be vendors, stuff like that. They may notice some young vendors, right?
So of all of the programs we had with Showcase, one of them that we're most proud of is our Youth Entrepreneur Accelerator. So one of our founders, Devin right here, he'll be here along with a couple others, and they'll be able to sell their merch and their brands. One of them that they have right here is Soka. Soka is a great brand. I'll let Devin kind of talk about it.
Devin, I mean, I love what you've got here. So first of all, what is Soka?
Yes, so Soka is a soccer streetwear brand that's focusing on building the accessibility to soccer. So specifically, if you look like in reference to United States and to Mexico or to different countries or or South America, you see the different systems. Within the United States, there's a pay-to-play system. So it creates barriers for access, and specifically those in urban areas and urban communities, it creates a huge barrier for the access. So they say that 70% of soccer players don't succeed, and it's not because they don't have the talent, but it's because they don't have the accessibility.
Wow.
All right. What a fun story there. Again, this is Atlanta's historic Old Fourth Ward, and you can expect so many events happening next week. Again, I mentioned the bar crawl on Thursday, big watch party Friday, and a event for kids on Saturday. Again, this is next week. Let's get out to our Chris Rosenthal. Imagine the summer camp, but for dogs. That's the idea behind this new pet destination opening in Fairburn. And our Chris Rosenthal joins us live. You can see him there to talk about this. Chris, this is exciting. 9 acres of pastures and play areas here for pups.
Yeah, absolutely. 9 acres here on this historic property. I mean, this goes back to the 70s as a kennel, and then the owner, Liz Pruitt, died, and Hilda Hackerson came over here and decided to take over it and turn this into a, like you said, a summer camp for dogs, the Best in Show summer camp here. And it's going to be opening on June 6th. They're just kind of putting the finishing touches here on it now. In fact, getting ready for the big celebration here that they're going to have on June 6th here in Fairburn. And Hilda, thank you for joining us. And tell us about your vision here for this property and for what we have going on here.
This is an amazing property. It's 9 acres. We got huge indoor-outdoor runs for dogs. We got a big cattery. There's going to be trails. They're not exactly clear yet, but we're doing daycare, boarding, and grooming, and also boarding for cats.
And this property, I mean, it's a historic property. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was opened in the 70s by Liz Pruitt. She ran the kennel for like 50 years. She unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and it was under contract for 2 years with a developer who was going to demolish the place. Luckily, it fell through, luckily for us, and we were able to secure the property. So we've now been working to restore it back to its former glory, we hope. And we're super excited to invite everybody on Saturday for the grand opening at noon. It's free, it's open to the public. There's going to be free ice cream, hot dogs, games, you name it. Prizes, that's what I'm doing right here. I'm putting together the spin the wheel so you can win daycare, boarding. What else do we have? What other prizes? Grooming, yes. We got, there's going to be tennis balls, frisbees, yes.
And bring your pets, of course. So.
Yeah, sure. And there's popsicles for the dogs. There's ice cream for the two-leggeds.
Here in South Fulton Parkway. We were talking about the history of this place, and I think this is so cool here. This is the Beagle Brigade was here, and this was the these were dogs that they had at the airport, ones that would sniff your luggage, and you guys found some interesting memorabilia when you were renovating this place, huh? These are sort of like game cards almost.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was in a broken frame and a pile of stuff, and we started digging into the history, and turns out that the Beagle Brigade was boarding here. They were regular customers, and we know that because we found a plaque that thanked the owner for their service. It's over here. So it's really fascinating, really, really cool.
Just amazing. I mean, even trophies going back to 1974. So a lot of history here, and you're kind of keeping it alive. We have, you can see here, I mean, they're doing some of the finishing work here, and they got grooming areas there, and then outside, I mean, it's, in fact, we can even step outside a little bit. There's 9 acres or so, huh?
Yes, it's 9 acres. When we first got here, the grass was up to our waist, and everything was covered in vine, and walls were falling down. There was a lot of work to be done, but I just couldn't. I could only see what an amazing property this could turn into with the right kind of love and care. And this is really my dream come true, honestly. This place is amazing. It's got such a good vibe. it's one of a kind.
Yeah, you can feel the history and sense your passion here for sure. So, so people can come. They can bring their dogs for a day, week, anything they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Dogs and cats. Yes, Noel here will be here, saying hello, greeting everybody. Everybody's welcome. We just need them, of course, to be up to date on their vaccines to keep everybody safe.
All right. Well, Saturday, the big grand opening here off South Fulton Parkway and Short Road here at Best in Show. Doggy Daycare. Back to you.
All right. Sounds good, Chris. Thanks so much for giving us some information on this. If you have any dogs, take them to the summer camp. Make sure they're vaccinated first, like the organizer there said. But it looks like a fun time for your furry friends. Time right now is 1:56 on the dot. Our news continues with our Ariel Onstadt at 2.
Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here at 2 o'clock on your Wednesday afternoon. We've got a lot of news to get to today, and I want to let you know right now we're following a developing story in Roswell. Police are investigating a suspected road rage shooting. You're taking a look from when our helicopter flew over this Skyfox 5 just a few moments ago. But police are looking at this situation. The Cobb County Police Department believes a road rage shooting happened on Woodstock Road near the intersection of Mabry Road. They say this happened just after 11 this morning. They responded after receiving reports that a driver had fired multiple shots at another vehicle. This happened, they say, during an apparent road rage incident, and both vehicles continued through the intersection. That intersection is located near the Cobb County and City of Roswell divisional line, and so the victim ultimately stopped in the City of Roswell Police Department's jurisdiction. First responders were able to get there to the scene and offer medical assistance for the shooting victim, and they were transported to a local hospital. We're not sure how they're doing right now, working to figure out that information, but the investigation is active and ongoing, and significant traffic delays are expected in that area there in Roswell near Cobb County, because investigators are processing the scene and gathering evidence. So you're encouraged to avoid the area and use alternate routes wherever possible. Again, that area there is near Woodstock Road at the intersection of Mabry Road. So wanted to keep you updated there. I also want to let you know that no foul play is suspected in the death of a missing man, 20-year-old Derek Samuel. Tragic situation. Police have been investigating, and they actually held a news conference today to address Derek Samuel's death. East Point police say they were taking a look at this case and wanted to address what they say are rumors swirling surrounding Samuel's disappearance and death. Georgia Emergency Search and Rescue crews found a body in the woods near Red Wine Road after a month-long search, and they tracked Samuel's cell phone to the area. Law enforcement had previously searched that area and didn't find anything. They say Samuel vanished after a trip to a Target at Camp Creek Marketplace back on April 29th, and surveillance video reviewed by investigators shows Samuel did not appear distressed when he parted ways with two friends. Those friends reported him missing after they did not hear from him. Now, Samuel's family say they don't agree with the outcome of this investigation. They don't agree with what police are saying happened here. In a statement to Fox 5, the family says, quote, "We, the family of Derek Samuel, strongly disagree with the East Point Police Department's insulting view and outcome on this case. We ask for continued prayers and support of everyone who loves, cares, and stand in support of our family and Derek." So they want justice for Derek. They have not yet said fully to us as a media outlet who they believe might be responsible for Derek's death, but it is a tragic situation, and I'd like to let you listen to what Chief Sean Buchanan of the East Point Police Department had to say today.
I thought today was a very important day for the simple fact there's so many rumors, speculations about what happened to Mr. Samuels. So today we're here to give facts and just facts. We know definitively that Mr. Samuels was at the Camp Creek Marketplace on April 29th. We have him on our real-time crime center cameras. We see him at Target. We see him at several stores. From there, he walked across the street to an adjacent apartment complex. The apartment complex is gated. A vehicle entered, and he walked behind the vehicle into the apartment complex. Our detectives went door to door to every apartment in that complex to see did they know Mr. Samuel. We tracked his cell phone. The cell phone records showed triangulation in the woods behind the apartment complex. On the 16th of May, we went to the woods in that area. Our detectives walked about 4 miles trying to find anything, cell phones, Mr. Samuels, anything that could assist us in this investigation. We were met with negative results. We received thousands of tips which we had to follow. On the 18th of May, we went to Lithonia to a lake, and also with the assistance of the Cobb County Helicopter Unit, we searched the lake and met with negative results. On the 31st of May, due to the weather, we had to have a delay. We went back to the same locations earlier behind the apartment complex. After about 3 hours of searching, we were able to find some human remains. At that point, we were not sure who that individual was. We went back out there the following day on June 1st. When we were back out there, we was able to find additional human remains, as well as Mr. Samuel's cell phone, a handgun, as well as a shell casing. Based on facts of the case, at this point, we do not suspect any foul play. At this point, we do not suspect any foul play. I know there have been thousands of rumors and speculations on social media, but we have facts that are not known to social media. And based on our facts, we do not at this point suspect any foul play.
Okay, so you heard Chief Buchanan say that they, as a police department, have some facts that are not widely known that leads them to believe that as of right now, there is no foul play suspected in Derek Samuel's death. However, his family disputes this. They believe that there's more to the story. As a news outlet, we're going to continue to ask those questions and try to get answers. A big question I have right now is, what is next in terms of an autopsy? Is the family authorizing an autopsy? Will they conduct an independent one? Is the state doing their own autopsy independent of the family? Those are answers that we're working to get for you guys. As these investigations progress, always the state will do that autopsy, but my question is, has the family authorized something independently? As we get any new information, we'll continue to keep you updated. In this situation, a cause of death has not yet been released for Derek Samuel, so we'll keep you updated as we get any new information. But let's continue with some other stories that we're following here in the Fox 5 newsroom today. Family is seeking answers after their loved one was shot by a Rockdale County deputy, and our Allie Levine joins us live. Allie, I understand the family wants justice because they say that their son was shot during a mental health episode. It happened back in April in Rockdale County, and now famed civil rights attorney Ben Crump representing the family and held a press conference today. What are we learning?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Ariel. Today we got a first look of video of that shooting at this press conference with Attorney Ben Crump and his team. We're going to show it to you in just a second, but I do want to give a warning for anyone who doesn't want to see something along these lines. It is graphic. You will hear and see guns being fired. Now, you will also see a completely naked 19-year-old Jason Marshall Haynes in the midst of a mental health crisis, along with two Rockdale County Sheriff's deputies, firearms drawn.
I did everything right in raising him. He was shot in our neighborhood, our suburban neighborhood. I have 3 black sons, so it's going to go through my head that this could happen to my other children as well. It goes through every day, and I thank God that my son is still alive. I just thank God that he is here. He went through something very traumatic. I am seeking accountability from Rockdale County's Sheriff's Department. You could have done better, and you need to be trained for mental health awareness, how to help people who are going through a mental health crisis.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like accountability, and I would like justice for my son. I teach my students to be good people, and that is what I taught my son. You could have done better.
You watched the video for yourself, and I believe you will come up with the same conclusion that his mother, Dr. Marshall, and our legal team concludes, that it was unnecessary and unjustifiable, and that we must have accountability, not just for the sake of justice for Jason, but for the sake to try to prevent this from happening again. It's happening too many times in America.
Mother, Dr. Makita Marshall, and Attorney Ben Crump, famed civil rights attorney. I do hope that we can show that video of the incident here, because I want to tell you a little bit about what Haynes attorneys and the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office are saying. So according to Haynes attorneys, the video shows a man in the midst of a mental health crisis, posing no physical threat to officers. there you have it, the video that we were just speaking about. Now, we already heard from Dr. Makita Marshall, Jason Marshall Haynes' mother. Now, she says she called 911 3 days leading up to the shooting. She says she was looking for help, resources for her son. And according to Dr. Marshall, they told her there was nothing they could do. And on this day, the video was taken April 13th. Rockdale County deputies responded to an indecent exposure call. And when they arrived, in a statement provided today, the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office says the responding deputy gave verbal commands, but Marshall Haynes did not respond. The officer deployed pepper spray, then a taser. By the Sheriff's Office account, Haynes charged the deputy, who drew his weapon and fired twice, hitting Haynes. They say Haynes continued to run at the deputy. Then another deputy arrives and opens his taser. Again, Dr. Marshall, a mother, physician, and a teacher, said she never expected this response from those who she called to help her son. It's worth noting the Georgia Bureau of Investigation is now in an active and open investigation into what happened in this incident. They do this with all officer-involved shootings. As for the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office, they concluded an internal investigation in which they found no wrongdoing on the part of the deputies involved. Both deputies were at one point placed on administrative leave, but they are now back to regular duty. And as you heard from Dr. Marshall and Attorney Ben Crump, they are calling for accountability, both financial and procedural. They want to see changes to who and how individuals respond to these mental health calls. Ariel?
Allie, just incredible watching that video. It's heartbreaking to watch these sorts of situations and to understand when we watch that video play and watching it again, understanding what the family's going through and obviously the investigation itself. I'm curious, how does the county currently handle training for these sorts of calls, especially since the family says that this man was experiencing a mental health episode? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's an important question. I actually posed it to the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office just earlier today, and in a written statement, they say that they host annual training for what they call, quote, autism and de-escalation, mental health, and first aid training. Additionally, the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office has a full-time mental health clinician who they say deputies meet with during field training, along with some other annual trainings. But as you heard, a mother really demanding justice, demanding accountability, a physician herself trying to make this a better place for people to live in her own home for people who may encounter a mental health crisis, which, as we all know, can touch any family really at any time.
Allie, I have so many more questions about this story. Truly, it's interesting to watch when that video surfaces and we're able to get a clearer picture of the scene as it unfolded. I know you'll continue to keep us updated, and we'll see you again later this evening. But Allie Levine, thank you for your reporting for us on this. As we continue, you guys, I'm looking at our time, and I want to make sure we stay on track. I know we're covering a lot of stories today, and some of them are pretty heavy. So if you have questions or there are things we're talking about today that you want us to get to, let us know. In the meantime, let's talk about some issues that MARTA is facing right before the World Cup. Safety issues, technical issues. These are some things that riders and some city officials are saying MARTA really needs to get together before the World Cup begins, really in just a few days. MARTA is bracing for massive World Cup crowds, and we've seen just before June started, a 66-year-old woman was randomly stabbed to death. On top of that, the agency is having trouble rolling out its tap-to-pay fare gates. Some have been shattered in several stations and are not working properly across the system. Then Tuesday, MARTA reps said that the long-anticipated new rail cars did not get the safety certification necessary to begin revenue service. MARTA officials have declined our Fox 5's request to speak about any of these issues on camera. They have said that they are deploying additional safety resources after that grandmother, Margaret Swan, was stabbed to death here over the weekend. But this is something that's causing a lot of concern for riders who really rely on MARTA to get to work, to get to school. So curious how you feel about MARTA, but this is something that we're continuing to keep you guys updated on. And in the meantime, I also want to let you know that we're getting new video. Atlanta police are asking for your help. They've put this new surveillance video front and center, hoping it leads them to the group accused of hunting down and shooting a 16-year-old boy. You're taking a look. The video shows several men walking together along Mason Turner Road in northwest Atlanta, and investigators believe these are the people responsible for a horrible brazen afternoon shooting that left a teenager hurt. Police say just before 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, that 16-year-old was walking in the area when he was approached by a group of men, and detectives say the group followed him down the street, then started shooting. The teen was hit in the shoulder, and this new video gives detectives their clearest look yet at the people they are hoping to identify. They rushed to the area, and after hearing that gunfire and found that teenager wounded but conscious, he was rushed to the hospital for treatment. And police say witnesses saw the group running from the scene toward Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard after that shooting. They're not sure what sparked the gunfire, whether or not that teen was targeted, and they're hoping if you're watching this video right now, you recognize this and you're able to give them information about these men that you see here. And some of you guys are asking about this area where this happened. It was the area of Mason Turner Road and Ashby Terrace there in northwest Atlanta. So that gives you kind of an idea. If you have any information, give police a call. Okay, I'm taking a look at our time here, and I want to keep us on track. So let's go ahead and get to our Kevin Stewart because we are learning more about a recently signed law. We've done some reporting on this. It would make certain county level races nonpartisan in Georgia's 5 Democratic leaning counties. And it's really the 5 most populous counties that do tend to lean Democrat here across Georgia in the north part of our state. And this is being challenged in court. That announcement was made this afternoon by district attorneys here in Metro Atlanta. Fox 5's Kevin Stewart joins us live now to make sense of this. So Kevin, what are you learning?
Ariel, District Attorney Sherry Boston from DeKalb County announced she will file a lawsuit in court later this afternoon. We are awaiting a word when that is officially filed. She, like you noted, believes that this House Bill 369 that was signed recently by Governor Kemp into law effective 2028 really attacks 5 Democratic-leaning counties. We're talking about DeKalb County, Fulton County, Gwinnett County, Cobb County, and Clayton County. And these counties that are all led by Democratic DAs, black women, no doubt, and they were among those who were in support of this lawsuit that was filed, that is going to be filed. This bill was actually drawn up by Republicans, and it was something that was looked at as a way as a nonpartisan, take politics out, based on community results and no partisan agenda. But obviously, Boston and many Democrats say this is not a coincidence. And either way, this is going to be argued in court. DA Boston laid out her legal arguments very simply. I want you to take a listen.
The Georgia Constitution requires that laws work the same way throughout the state, and it prohibits lawmakers from enacting local or special laws that change the rules for just one area of Georgia. The Georgia Supreme Court has repeatedly held that laws that target just one or a handful of counties are unconstitutional. Count 2. Violation of the Equal Protection Clause of both the Georgia and the U.S. Constitution. Both the Georgia and U.S. Constitutions mandate that laws must protect all people equally. The legislature did not give any legitimate reason for treating our counties, our elected officials, our voters different from the rest of the state's 154 counties.
Now, she says it is clear that this is unconstitutional, and she expects to win this lawsuit. We have reached out to the author of this bill for comment, Mr. Albers, Senator Albers from North Fulton, but so far we have not heard back. We're going to keep checking in to see if we get some type of response there. Ariel?
Kevin, this is going to be something we continue to watch. I know a big question from a lot of our viewers and people here in the area has been if this is an important rule to have nonpartisan elections in the 5 most populated counties in Georgia, why not across the state? If it's an important issue, why just these 5 counties? So this is something we'll continue to monitor. And Kevin, I know you'll join us again later this evening to help make sense of it. So thank you so much. As we continue along here at 2 o'clock, you guys, I want to continue with a story that has really raised some eyebrows, if you will. Imagine working in a place that's infested with rats. That is what one former IRS employee says was her reality. You're taking a look at the facility there in Chamblee, and a former IRS employee says that a reported rat infestation inside the agency's Chamblee office became so severe she decided to quit her job. Sydney Monger says that the rats began appearing throughout the building last month, prompting concerns about health and safety in the workplace. One video appears to show a employee lifting a trash can and discovering a dead rat inside. The IRS confirmed it's investigating the problem to remediate the pest challenges at the location. But she said, Sydney told us she doesn't do pests or rats, and this was just a no-go for her. So something we'll continue to keep you updated on. Let's continue along with some national headlines that we're following here in our newsroom. So you remember we talked a little bit about that quote-unquote slush fund that the Trump administration was wanting to execute, also known as the anti-weaponization fund. It is now dead, according to acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. He told a House panel, we are not moving forward with the fund, period. He said that the Trump administration had meant to create that fund to compensate allies of the president, but the idea received political backlash from both sides of the aisle and setbacks in the courts. It was a proposed $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund, and it would compensate the president's political allies who he claimed were targeted during President Biden's administration. Settlements could even have gone to Trump supporters who were part of the January 6 riots at the United States Capitol. And the fund came out of a settlement between the president, President Trump, and the IRS over his leaked tax returns. But the legality and oversight of the fund was immediately questioned. Now, despite abandoning it, the settlement term bars the IRS from investigating the president's family or businesses for past tax issues. That is still intact. But as we continue along here, you guys, we are going to get a check of your weather forecast with meteorologist Alex Forbes straight ahead. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstad here with meteorologist Alex Forbes. So, Alex, we've got a couple minutes. Let's talk about what's happening.
All right, I'm gonna have to find something to talk about, right? Because it's like not a whole lot.
I will say the dry weather and these cooler temperatures in June. Crazy.
Weird. It's weird.
Crazy.
Yeah, so we are
complaining,
still in the 70s right now here in Metro Atlanta. But I tell you what, obviously we've been talking a lot about the FIFA World Cup. I want to show you.
Yeah.
We've got this neat little quad box here. These are 4 live images of stadiums. And obviously we're going to be talking a lot about the weather with a lot of people in town. But our stadium's closed, so it's not really going to be an impact on the game. But if you take that full there, check out, you got Philadelphia in the top right. You got Seattle in the bottom left. Those are open air stadiums, which means we'll be watching for any sort of weather impacts here as the World Cup begins in, was it 9 days, 8 days? 8 days, next Thursday. And we'll be watching it around the U.S. So that's going to be exciting. Nothing to watch on Fox 5 Live Viper right now. All quiet. We could turn the thing off for a couple of days and we won't miss anything. There's not any weather system in the southeast U.S. at this point and likely won't be for a while. 77 in Atlanta, and it's a dry 77. 75 in Canton, 74 in Gainesville, 73 in Blairsville, 75 in the Classic City, and 78 over in LaGrange at this hour. So for the remainder of the day today, this is going to do it for us. This is about the warmest we'll be before temperatures fall back down into the 60s this evening, and that's going to make way for a nice evening. Of course, we got the Braves and Blue Jays at Truist Park, so fantastic baseball weather. Dare I say, you might even want a light jacket. Probably not. I'd be okay with that one. But if you are prone to cool weather, then yes. Notice I just played that through Friday, and like there's nothing going on here across Georgia and South Carolina and Alabama. So if you're looking for outdoor plans this weekend, I've got a yes for Saturday. I also have a yes for Sunday, but the rain chance is going to be around on Sunday, so that's going to be a kicker. About a 40% chance of showers and storms. There will be plenty of people who stay dry, so that's the key, right? I'm not canceling any plans because of the shower and storm threat. If I were, I wouldn't do anything this summer. But you know, that's certainly something that's avoidable. But look at this. In the days to come, we're back a little closer to average. One more day in the 70s today, and then we're at 83 tomorrow, 85 for Friday, 86 on Saturday. You get the trend as we get into that first full weekend of June. So there's your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast. So obviously you see the rain chances building back in. What you don't see is the humidity building back in. And the two go hand in hand, right? You don't get rain chances without that humidity. So that's what happens when you're in June and you live next to the Gulf and next to the Atlantic Ocean. You do get that moisture returning.
Okay, well, Alex, I'm going to make the most of this lovely dry weekend because who knows when Atlanta will give us such a thing again.
October.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Alex, thanks so much. Okay, guys, let's get to the latest between the war with Iran and the United States, because I know some of you are really feeling the strain at the pump right now. Gas prices have increased here in Georgia. The tax break that we were getting from our governor suspending the gas tax at the state level has ended. So now we are paying full price for a gallon of gas. And I know a lot of people are really feeling that strain on their wallets. So at this point, we know more strikes between the United States and Iran are actually continuing, adding more strain to the already fragile peace negotiations and increasing concerns that the situation is going to return to an all-out war. President Trump is still expressing optimism. The U.S. Central Command targeted an empty oil tanker sailing toward an Iranian port to fill up in violation of that American blockade, and that sparked a quick reaction from Iran, launching its own ballistic missiles and drones towards Kuwait and Bahrain. The Pentagon and Kuwaiti military says those attacks were intercepted, but falling debris did damage Kuwait's airport, killing at least one person and hurting dozens. Despite days of back and forth strikes, President Trump says negotiations with Iran are still ongoing. In a recent podcast interview, the president even suggested that leaders have already agreed not to pursue a nuclear weapon. Iran has given no public indication they are willing to do that. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers have criticized the mixed messaging coming from the White House. They pressed Secretary of State Marco Rubio on where the talks stand. And Marco Rubio has said that Operation Epic Fury has ended, but now ongoing negotiations are hoping to put an end to the war. Later today, the House is expected to take another vote on the War Powers Resolution, which would limit President Trump's ability to continue operations in Iran. Another thing I want to let you know about is that the president confirmed an earlier report that he criticized Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and said that he called him, quote, crazy in a phone call Monday. He said he was a little perturbed that Israel's fighting of Hezbollah in Lebanon could hold back peace talks with Iran. So learning a little bit more about that. But as we will continue to keep you updated on the status of the ceasefire and peace talks, you'll learn about it right here on Fox Local. Let's talk about those missing nuclear scientists, because we are getting a new update. A hiker has discovered the body of a missing nuclear lab worker, and now 10 people with potential ties to nuclear secrets or rocket technology are still missing. Police identified the remains that were discovered as 54-year-old Melissa Casillas, who worked at the Los Alamos National Laboratory. A hiker found her body in the McGaffey Ridge area of the Carson National Forest with a handgun alongside her remains. Now, Casillas was reported missing on June 25th of last year after she failed to arrive at work and did not return home after visiting her daughter at work. Police say her family later found that her purse, identification, and cell phones had been left behind, prompting concern for her welfare and a missing persons investigation. Now, speculation has grown over the disappearance of these scientists and lab employees. You can see a full timeline there on your screen of names and when they went missing and those who have died or disappeared. It's to the point a House Oversight Committee has been investigating, and the committee released information saying that reported cases include 2 who worked at Los Alamos, 2 affiliated with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and an MIT scientist who worked on nuclear fusion. That scientist was shot by the Brown University mass shooter, and a pharmaceutical researcher and government contractor who worked at a nuclear weapons component production facility. Authorities have not announced any link between Casillas' death and these other cases and have speculated that they are not linked, but a lot of people are questioning why this is happening. The discovery in Carson National Forest now closes the search for Casillas. However, the investigation has not revealed how she died or whose handgun was found beside her body. So that is something we'll continue to keep you updated on. I also want to let you know that Department of Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin is testifying on Capitol Hill today about a bunch of different issues as it relates to the status of Homeland Security. One thing that he talked about was the primary border wall between the United States and Mexico, and said it's going to be done in about a year. He said that the first layer of this wall, referred to as a primary wall, will be finished by this time next year. And Customs and Border Protection is building a secondary wall so that people who cross the border would have to go through 2 layers. That secondary wall will be finished by the summer of 2028. And Mullin was also asked about his threat to remove Customs and Border Protection officers from airports in cities that don't typically cooperate with federal law enforcement, immigration enforcement. Mullin said he's not punishing places dubbed as sanctuary cities by the Trump administration, but he said that those cities refuse to allow local and state enforcement officers to respond when called, and he needs to protect his staff. So he said, quote, if that means I got to pull them out of Customs and Border Protection from processing international flights, I will. Now, he did not say if he might, when or if he might implement that threat, and it's faced some criticism ahead of the World Cup when we're expecting a lot of international visitors. Also, unfolding today there on Capitol Hill, there was a rare example of a Republican criticizing the Trump administration's deportation program. A representative, Carlos Jimenez, urged Mullin to put more emphasis on apprehending violent criminals. He pointed out that he felt it was unacceptable that ICE recently failed to take 6 criminal suspects into custody in Orange County, California. Mullin responded saying that ICE only has 48 hours after defendants are booked into a local jail to take them into custody, and said that a difficult deadline makes the arrest difficult and the resources that they currently have. Mullin said, quote, there's no excuse for it, but we just don't have the resources to get there like we need to, end quote. Now, I'd like to let you listen to what he said about World Cup security preparations. This has been something on a lot of people's minds, especially since the Department of Homeland Security was shut down just earlier this year. Are we ready for the World Cup? Take a listen.
We're up against a timeline. We're 10 days, roughly. I think we're 11 actually, but we're 10 days from the first kickoff, 11 days from the first game in L.A. on June 12th. And we have a lot of work to do, but our grants are out. We're getting the local law enforcement back pay because they didn't get the grants on equipment, on personnel, on overtime. We feel like we're in a good spot, but it definitely put us at risk. But I will tell you, I feel very comfortable where we're at, and we feel like we have a zero-fail mission, but it's going to be complicated. We have 5 to 7 million visitors coming in. We have some very complicated countries that are going to be playing each other that have a tremendous amount of dislike against each other. Drones are my biggest concern, too. We have spent a tremendous amount of ability and money to be able to be very offensive with drones, but on the counter drone measures, everybody's a little behind. I will tell you, all 11 of facilities do have counter drone equipment at the facilities. We have CBP that has 5 stadiums. United States Coast Guard has 2, FBS has 1, and FBI has 3. So we're well prepared for it.
Well, speaking of the World Cup, let's talk about the Democratic Republic of Congo, because they are going to be appearing in their first World Cup since 1974. And even though the team has not been practicing in Congo because of concerns over Ebola, there are still fears of the virus hanging over the games and fan travel. Millions of visitors are set to travel here to the U.S., Canada, and Mexico for the World Cup. Here in the U.S., the head of the National Institutes of Health and the CDC, in charge of proactive surveillance measures, have said that they are putting in place a lot of different procedures. For example, U.S.-bound passengers who've been in the Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan are being funneled into 4 designated airports for enhanced health screenings. The EU is stressing the importance of well-organized and functioning exit screenings in the airports near the outbreak. The State Department's also considering naming a point person to coordinate its response to the Ebola outbreak in Africa. We know that despite the deadly protests in Kenya, the United States is still confident in plans to build an Ebola isolation center at a military base there. The Democratic Republic of Congo's pre-World Cup match is also hitting a snag. Because of health concerns, the Spanish city where that friendly game was set to be played has now banned it. And again, this is even though the Congolese team has not even been playing in Congo because of fears of the virus. Now the Democratic Republic of Congo will play Uzbekistan here in Atlanta on June 27th. And we'll continue to keep you updated as we get closer to the World Cup just days away. I'm Ariel Onstott, you guys. Coming up next, we are going to check in on a graduation, a free graduation training hundreds of Atlantans on career readiness. And our Maria Guzman's going to join us with that straight ahead. Welcome back in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Such a pleasure to have you here on our Wednesday afternoon. Let's talk about hundreds of graduates that got to walk across a really cool stage today, and that would be at the Georgia Aquarium, where we find our Maria Guzman. And Maria, I understand they had received free career readiness training. This is a big milestone.
Hey Ariel, yeah, it's a huge milestone. It's been very emotional and exciting because for many of these graduates, this is their first graduation because they didn't graduate from high school or college. I am going to go ahead and step out of the frame because I want to show you how full this ceremony is. I mean, we have about 270 graduates in attendance, but 1,200 graduates in general who have gone through a career program. Now, a big key here is that it's free. And a big reason why it's free is because of shoppers. So for example, if I live by a Goodwill in North Georgia, I go shopping, that money is going to those career programs that these people have gone through. So it's very neat. And I spoke to someone actually who is in her 60s and is sitting right behind me on this chair who has gone through a program. And she told me how she made a living delivering pizza, and she wanted to change. She wanted to do something more. So I got the chance to speak with her. So let's go ahead and take a listen to her story.
I have been interested in customer service for many years. I couldn't figure out how to get into it, and I heard nothing but positive, good things about Goodwill. So one day I said, I know I'll get a job. I'll go to Goodwill. And the customer service, the contact solution specialist class, simply phenomenal. It has changed my life, a whole perspective and outlook, and I'm just anticipating the positive things to come. After I graduated from the program, Goodwill hired me. So I've been working in the contact center since November the 24th, 2025. I'm 64 years old. Don't give up, don't give in, because they're looking for us. They need us to be leaders, to show the younger people the way. And I wrote a poem about 20 years ago called Top of the Ladder. Never quit, never give in. Press on until you win. I was working, I was delivering pizzas for Domino's on Boulder Crest. I enjoyed the work, however, it wasn't stability. I've never turned back, I've never looked down upon it. I knew there was more to it. I knew I was worth more, and so I sought out Goodwill, and they came through for me. I'm so excited to be here.
The greatest thing about what we do at Goodwill of North Georgia is that for all the participants, it's completely free. Whether they are learning how to operate a forklift, using cybersecurity training, learning how to drive a 18-wheeler, or hospitality, all host of sorts of different things. They learn those skills directly from us, totally free of charge. And we don't just stop there. We also help them with financial literacy, so they spend their money even better once they get it. And we help train and coach them for each interview they might be going through. And every time they're ready for a career promotion, many of them sometimes become a lifetime partnership between us and our participants. The most fulfilling sentence I ever hear as the CEO of Goodwill and the leader of this effort in trying to put people to work is when someone says, I'm proud of myself. Because we know many of our people, they don't say that very often. And because they finish one of these programs, sometimes these programs are pretty difficult and they're very intense. The fact that they come every day, get rid of all the barriers that are in their way and succeed, and they get a chance to walk across a graduation stage and see their moms and dads and significant others out in the audience saying, you did a great job. And so that in itself is the most fulfilling thing of what we do. And then for each graduate, well, they can tell you these incredible barriers that they had to overcome and the obstacles they had to go through and navigate. But once they finish, there's that sense of pride and accomplishment that nobody can ever take away from them.
And every graduate here has a different story. I mean, some are facing a disability, other people got laid off and were looking for a new career path, and some even served time in prison and are changing their lives around. Now, for some perspective, the youngest graduate in this room is 15 years old, and it goes all the way to 74 years old. So a lot of lives are being changed, a lot of families are excited, and you truly feel those emotions and just a new beginning right here in this room, Ariel.
Maria, this is so inspiring. I feel like Alexis was just a bundle of joy, talking about how she believed she was worth more and deserved more, to not give up no matter how old you are. Such an important message.
Yeah, it's really inspiring. I wanted to really highlight her age because you're never too old for a new chapter, for a new career, for a change. And stay with us because at the 3 o'clock hour, I'm going to be doing a live interview with the graduate of the year. So you don't want to miss that for sure.
Okay, Maria, thanks so much. I'll let you get back to it as the ceremony is underway. I see someone here in our comments, Alyssa, saying you've been to this last year. Curious if you enjoyed it, Alyssa. That's really cool that you're watching us while we're also talking about it. All right, guys, let's continue on here because there is a new summer camp for city dogs. At least that's how I understand it. A historic kennel is being transformed, and our Chris Rosenthal joins us live. Chris, it seems like your afternoon really is going to the dogs.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'll have to come up with a pun to beat that one there. But yeah, I am at Best in Show, and pretty soon this area here, this is only a small part of this 9-acre area. Pretty soon this will be filled with dogs here. This property has been a kennel going back about 50 years or so. It was called Celebrity Kennels down here in Fairburn off South Fulton Parkway. But the owner, Liz Pruitt, she passed away, and Hilda Hickerson came here, and she had a vision, and she said, I want to turn this into something here. So Hilda joins me right here. Tell me about that vision. Tell me about what you saw when you came down to this property.
It was just something special. I can't really describe it. Even though the grass was up to my waist and all of the buildings were covered in vines and falling apart, I just couldn't help but see the potential, and I just wanted to bring it back to its former glory, because this property is really something special that deserved to come back to life.
Yeah, we can walk inside here a little bit. These are some of the kennels here, and you've largely been able to the inside, outside sections here, and what will be here for the dogs? What will it be like? So
this will be boarding and daycare. We also do grooming. That's a different area. There's also a large 6-enclosure cattery with indoor, outdoor sections for cats. So all pets are welcome.
And this is a historic location. Talk to me about some of the history you've dug up in your renovations here.
Yes, I mean, this kennel used to be training grounds for police dogs. Because it's 9 acres, we know that the police would come and practice here. It was also the home for the Beagle Brigade, the little cute beagles that would greet you at the airport and sniff your luggage to make sure you didn't bring any fruit and vegetables you weren't supposed to bring. Yeah. So it was really interesting to find, these treasures in all the rubble.
Yeah, these are sort of like playing cards for some of the beagles here. It's sort of interesting artifacts you found here for the Beagle Brigade here. And we come in here, we got some of the dogs already. I mean, I'll tell you, they've been doing the renovations while I've been here. This is all coming together. The fact this floor wasn't even here when I got here today. So now they've already got some of the dogs ready to go, huh?
Yes, these are some of our own dogs that we're getting ready for show. We show dogs as well. This is a puppy. Her name is Donna. This is Sakura. She is almost a champion. They need to be fluffed, washed, and brushed out once a week. So that's what we're doing right now.
So June 6th, that's Saturday. Yes. You guys are opening, and public is welcome here, huh?
Yes, absolutely. We hope everybody is coming. There will be free food, there will be games, music, scavenger hunt, prizes. If you have a dog and you're thinking about maybe boarding or need boarding or daycare, you should come. You can win free daycare, free boarding. Yes, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, out here on South Fulton and Short Road, right?
Yep, 6285 Short Road. in Fairburn.
In Fairburn. So, yeah, you know, really cool to see this place. I mean, they're doing the last minute touches, and you know, I love history, and so the history of this is really amazing. In fact, I'll show you. They kind of have some of the trophies. 1978 over here. They even this is from the Peabo.
Oh wow, yeah. That's cool, Chris.
Owner, she raised Saint Bernards, so we found a lot of photos of her show dogs and endless amounts of prizes. So she was a very successful breeder of Saint Bernards.
Wow. So keeping that history and that tradition alive here for sure.
Well, Chris, this is really neat. Definitely going to stay tuned again at 3 when you give us another tour. And cool that this is opening here soon and something that we can make use of in Fairburn. So, Chris Rosenthal, thanks so much for joining us live. You guys, coming up straight ahead, we're going to take you out to a place where you can enjoy free street performances this weekend and next. Straight ahead. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Thanks so much for being here. Let's talk about a popular street festival that's returning to Little Five Points. Our Eli Jordan joins us live. And Eli, I understand this is all about free street performances where the community can come together.
Yes, that's this weekend. Street Fringe Festival, where you have buskers out there and you got all sorts of pop-up events and all that. But also, too, though, Atlanta Fringe Festival, it's been a 2-week-long event. And tonight you can participate in it, go to some events for Atlanta Fringe. And I am on stage here at 7 Stages, where the nerve center of Atlanta Fringe, where they got 3 performances, actually 6 performances tonight, tomorrow, and Friday night, and a whole bunch this weekend. And I am actually with the production manager of 7 Stages, Kai Lewis. Hey, how you doing, Kai?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right, not too bad. So it's been a busy week so far.
Oh my goodness, we've just been going and going. Fringe is here, they're hanging out with us, using both of our spaces, the main stage and the black box, our backstage space, and having a time of their life.
And so, I mean, it's really cool what the Fringe does. They draw names out of the hat to figure out who's going to be performing. It's a very organic event. And so you have 3 on the main stage and 3 on the backstage the next 3 nights, I guess. But this weekend, you guys start at 1:45, and you got to have a lot of stuff going on, right?
Yes, that is true. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, we've got 10 shows. Sunday, we've got 4 shows just in our space alone, not including all of the other production spaces throughout the city of Atlanta as well. Some in the neighborhood, some a little bit further away, but we're all here hanging out and supporting live theater.
I think we got Dynamic El Dorado, Metropolitan Studios, and what was that? I can't remember.
The supermarket.
Supermarket on Highland, yes.
Yes.
Right, and that's a cool place too. I've been
Yeah,
there
it
before. So what kind of performances can we expect here at 7 Stages? What kind of genres do we have? What kind of things we're gonna
Sure. Here on our main stage, you'll see everything from plays, musicals. We've got an aerial or 2 acts happening in this space as well. And our black box is a bit smaller and more intimate, so you'll see more of like comedy. You'll see some more plays, maybe like quick little excerpts, one-woman, one-man shows, things of that nature.
So, if one show is not your cup of tea, you can go out, Little 5, do some shopping, check out some busking, come back for whatever might pique someone's interest and check that out. And, it's $18 per show, but the really cool thing, though, the artists get all of the door.
Exactly. Live theater now is kind of a bit of a sketchy place right now. We're all trying to figure out how to make it work and how to keep art alive throughout the world and as well as in the city of Atlanta. And so this is a way for us to really pour back into the artists and kind of uplift them in what's to come.
And real quick, tell me your website.
Yes. So Fringe Festival website is atlantafringe.org. 7 Stages website, you can find us at the number 7stages.org.
Number 7stages.org and atlantafringe.org. We're running out of time. Okay, and I got to let you go. So we'll kick it back to you, Ariel. That is what's going on. We got a whole rest of the week and weekend of just performances, plays, busking. Just come on out, Little 5 in East Atlanta. Go to atlantafringe.org, check it out, and see what all is happening. And number 7stages.org to check it out, see what's happening here too. Erin,
Eli, thanks so much for bringing this to our attention, and I know we'll see you again here at 3 o'clock, so my pleasure. You guys, as always, thanks so much for being here at 2. I'm Ariel Onstadt. Tom Haynes is literally on his way as we speak to keep you updated for 3.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. I'm your host, Tom Haynes, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Got to get you caught up on a lot of news and information happening today. We're going to begin with a development in East Point, where police there now say that no foul play is suspected in the death of a 20-year-old. Of course, we're talking about Derek Samuel, the agency making the announcement in a news conference today. The man had been missing for more than a month before his remains were located over the weekend. Fox 5's Annie Mapp on top of this story for us this afternoon. Annie, what more do we know about this case?
Hey, Tom. So we were actually out there on Sunday as the Georgia Emergency Search and Rescue Team was looking for 20-year-old Derek Samuel in that vicinity of the Camp Creek Marketplace. They got there just a little bit before 10 Sunday morning and ended up finding his remains just shortly after 2 o'clock. Of course, I was able to confirm with his family later that day that that was in fact Derek. Now today, East Point Police Chief Sean Buchanan announced that they suspect no foul play in Derek's death. They reiterate that remains were located on Sunday, but they say they also went back to that site on Monday and found additional remains along with Derek's firearm. They say they found his phone as well. So the agency says that they have evidence and that they are going based off facts, and that is what is leading them to believe that Derek may have harmed himself. However, I did speak to Derek's family members. They are in total disagreement. They go as far as to say that the results from the East Point Police Department are insulting. They don't believe that Derek would harm himself at all, especially since he is a twin and he is very close to his twin sister. They also question why it took the East Point Police Department so long to put out a missing persons alert for Derek Samuel. We didn't find out about this case until May. He was reported missing on April 30th by two friends who were with him at the Target. Again, he was seen leaving that store alone on surveillance footage. So the family has a lot of questions. They also want to know why it took an outside group coming in to find him instead of East Point Police. Take a listen at what Chief Buchanan said.
They did everything correctly. It may not appear that way looking from the outside because it took so long for us to find him, but remember, we immediately went door to door in that apartment complex. We had already previously searched those woods as well. We just didn't have any cadaver dogs.
Now, while the chief and also the mayor made the announcement today during a press conference that they believe Derek's death is a part of no foul play, the investigators say that they are still reviewing digital evidence in this case. The family says they are now in conversations with attorneys because they think there is something else there. Tom?
It's a difficult situation, really, Annie, all around, not only for city officials and investigators, but for a family who understandably is still grieving the loss of a loved one. And they want answers more than, there's no foul play involved here. Now, whether that falls on the family to search for those answers sort of internally or for them to engage investigators or whichever course of action they're taking, what do they plan as their next steps? You mentioned that they're consulting legal counsel. I mean, do they see a lawsuit here?
They believe that there are, some things that should have been done. For one, they question why it took so long for a missing persons alert for a BOLO to be put out. Again, we didn't start reporting on this case until May 11th when we interviewed the family. We were first to interview them. We reached out to East Point Police and asked questions about Derek's disappearance. At that point, they had not sent out any alert whatsoever. It was until we sent them an email asking for more information that they then put out an alert on that same day, and that was May 11th. Derek was reported missing on April 29th, and here we are, over a month is when he was located. So they feel that, they say that they are unhappy with how the case was handled.
Yeah, again, you can understand their frustration, their grief. We just hope they certainly get some closure whichever way they can. Annie Mapp with the latest on the investigation for us this afternoon. Annie, thanks so much. Want to talk to you about another development where police say that an apparent road rage incident ended with gunfire and a driver wounded. This is a startling story. Cobb County police say that the shooting happened just after 11 a.m., I should say, Wednesday morning on Woodstock Road near Barbary Road. Now, investigators say that one driver fired multiple shots at another vehicle. After the gunfire, the victim continued driving and crossed into Roswell before stopping to get help. And this is what was left of that scene. First responders found the victim suffering from a gunshot wound and then took them to the hospital. Police haven't released the victim's condition, but again, an unsuspecting driver here in Cobb County makes it to Roswell for help when gunfire rings out after a road rage incident. I mean, exhibit A of why we try to, constrain ourselves when out on the roadway, getting into confrontations with other vehicles, because something dangerous and spontaneous like this can erupt. The shooter has not been identified, and the investigation remains an active one this afternoon. Atlanta police are putting new surveillance video out there, hoping it leads them to a group accused of hunting down and shooting a 16-year-old boy, according to authorities. Take a close look at the video here. It shows several men walking together along Mason Turner Road in northwest Atlanta. Investigators believe these are the people responsible for a brazen afternoon shooting that left a teenager wounded. Police say just before 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon, the 16-year-old was walking in the area when he was approached by a group of males. Now, detectives say that the group followed him down the street and then started shooting. The teen was hit in the shoulder by gunfire. The newly released video gives detectives their clearest look yet at the people that they are trying to identify. Officers rushed to the area of Mason Turner Road and Ashby Terrace after the reports of the gunfire. When they arrived, they found the teenager wounded but conscious. He was taken to the hospital for treatment. Police say that the witness saw the group running from that scene and provided this video of the three suspects that they're looking for. Investigators have not said what sparked that gunfire or whether the teen was targeted or related in any way to those three suspects. Well, there is a new push to solve a cold case mystery, a 27-year-old cold case mystery, that is, in the city of Atlanta. It's a homicide investigation that police are looking for answers for. The latest, we get out to Fox 5's Eric Perry with more information on exactly what police are looking for out there. Eric?
And they say since then there have been no arrests made, and they're now releasing a name. They're either saying it is a John Tarvis or John Tarvus. It's one of those things where they don't even have a true description other than a light-skinned African-American male since that day. So today we heard from investigators. We saw pictures of that victim. She was just 29 at the time there. So they believe that suspect was her boyfriend for only 6 months. They say just the night before. The boyfriend, the victim, and then her two kids were coming from some sort of a bowling alley party, and then the next morning she was dead. Those two kids inside, not hurt. We also heard from her daughter today, who is also a DeKalb County police officer. She says that she spent her entire life in the past couple of years searching for answers and helping other people. Well, now she wants those answers for herself.
Unfortunately, the description is pretty bare. Light skin, black male, but it sounds like he stayed around that what is deemed the Bankhead area, the Donnelly Hollowell area, and as we all know, even today, it's a tight-knit community.
One night she's there, smiling, laughing, and being your mom, and the next morning she's gone. And as a child, I couldn't comprehend why she was gone, or why our lives had changed forever. It's a different feeling when you can help others. But when you can't get the answers for yourself, it really hurts. So that's why it's so important to me, because I want the justice.
Yeah, very emotional. I believe the victim's mother was off to the side as well, or other family members who were emotional as well. So the name of that suspect is either Janaris or Janarus, but it's just one of those vague things. Police don't even know the exact name. They don't have a last name. And outside of a light-skinned African-American individual and him being, around in his late 50s and a mechanic at that time, they really don't have anything else to go off of. So that's why they're asking those in the public, those in the community. You heard from Lieutenant Butler, the Bankhead community, Donnelly, Hollowell, that area, tight-knit. Someone knows something in this case, and that's where they're hoping that someone will come forward. There is a potential $5,000 reward with Crime Stoppers if you know anything. But again, this family, they just want some sort of an answer. As you heard that daughter there, she's a DeKalb County police officer, and, she helps other people get answers, and hopefully someone will step up to help this officer get answers in her own loved one's death.
After 27 years, Eric, it's about time that family gets the answers that they're looking for. That is a long time to go without closure for a loved one who's fallen victim to a crime like this. Sometimes I ask Doug Evans this question. It can be an unfair question, and if it is, just say so. But what sort of led investigators to reopen this case after so long? Was it a nugget of information that was uncovered? Was it DNA evidence? Was it just new information from somebody that sort of relit this fire here?
To be honest with you, I don't think there was any of that. At the time, I asked a question about technology at the time. They just didn't have any DNA or anything, I believe, at that time to go off of. I believe what it is Atlanta police officers want to help this DeKalb County police officer in their search for answers. So I think that's why they came together. Behind the scenes, on the other side of the camera, we saw DeKalb County police officers there to support Ms. Loyal in her search. And as she was up there, some of the PIOs and that type of thing, DeKalb County, their community response team was there. I really think it's just one agency helping their sister in the badge just keep this alive and going, because investigators really just didn't have any new information to give. Most of this, and what you'll see in my story coming up at 4 o'clock, is just that emotional plea from a daughter as we approach the year 27 mark. Well, they say time heals all wounds, but certainly not in cases like this. So we hope that the family, that officer, gets the answers that they're looking for to finally bring some closure to this case. Eric, we'll see you tonight on Fox 5 News at 4. Thanks so much. We got other news going on here this afternoon from the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. A former employee says that a growing rat infestation inside a Metro Atlanta office became so bad that she felt that she had no choice but to quit. Imagine that, walking into the office seeing rats running around. That's what this woman's saying. The video is hard to ignore. One clip appears to show a dead rat inside a trash can, and this happening, of all places, at an IRS office. Other images show traps lining the office as employees try to navigate what they describe as an increasingly unsafe work environment. The woman says that she resigned Friday from the IRS facility on Chamblee Tucker Road after repeated encounters with rodents inside the building. She says employees returned from the Memorial Day holiday to find the problem had gotten much worse. According to her, rats were being caught daily, with traps even placed inside employee cubicles. How would that be for an unwelcome sight when you're sitting at your cubicle at work? She says that the workers were afraid of being bitten or exposed to diseases, and that the sight of rats running through the office led many to be on edge. The IRS isn't denying there's a problem. In a statement, the agency said, like many large buildings in an urban area, the facility can face pest-related challenges at any given time. Well, prices at the pump still high, especially after the state lifted the gas tax relief, which had been in place for so long. The governor implementing that, but deciding not to extend it as of midnight last night.
If it feels like they jumped overnight, they sure did. Georgia's temporary suspension is gone. The tax holiday expired at midnight, bringing back the state's motor fuel tax on every gallon of gasoline sold. AAA says the national average price for regular unleaded gasoline is high, but in Georgia, it had already started climbing, and motorists can now expect to pay about 33 cents more per gallon now that the gas tax is being phased back in. Of course, all of this stemming from the conflict in Iran, which is still ongoing. For drivers with a 15-gallon tank, which isn't that big, we're talking about mid-sized cars here, try driving a truck or an SUV and filling one of those things up. You're talking about filling up at nearly $100 per pop. The return of the tax comes as Georgians are already struggling with higher fuel prices headed into the busy summer travel season. Experts say it may take a few days or longer to feel the full impact to show up at every service station. Let's take you live out to Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport this afternoon for a major milestone in its $1.3 billion Concourse D widening project. We've seen this go up as it's happened. The mayor has touted this as a source of pride for the city. It completed 3 more gates as part of the massive expansion, which will nearly double parts of the concourse from 60 feet wide to as much as almost 100 feet wide. And believe me, if you're walking through Concourse D, as I was several months ago, in fact, it may have been over a year ago when that was partially complete, it does add a ton more space. The mayor out there touting the success of this expansion and the speed at which it's happening. Let's listen to part of what he had to say.
2029 Concourse D is going to be bigger, brighter, and more efficient than ever, and ready to carry Atlanta's growth for decades. And so we're building space that matches the energy of this city. It matches the scale and the spirit of this city. And so these spaces are welcome in the world to be able to connect through Atlanta, but also to treat this like a true global hub.
The mayor saying that this is all part of Atlanta's expansion as, what he described as a global hub and taking our place as the world's busiest airport. The work continues with works to modernize the entire concourse. This is that massive parking deck outside the South Terminal is finally complete. So the mayor touting that major achievement at Hartsfield-Jackson International on Concourse D. Speaking of airport and travel, with the World Cup just days away now, the health officials are ramping up screening at airports across North America as they monitor Ebola outbreaks in parts of Africa. Millions of fans expected to travel to the United States, Canada, and Mexico for the tournament, including supporters of the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is appearing in its first World Cup since 1974. The concern isn't about the tournament itself, but about preventing the deadly virus from spreading through international travel. U.S. officials say passengers who have recently been in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan are now being routed through designated airport areas for enhanced health screenings. Federal officials say additional testing tools and monitoring systems are already in place at major international gateways. Health officials stress, though, that the risk for the general public remains low. They say that they're taking extra precautions now to keep the virus from crossing borders as international travel surges for the World Cup. Speaking of the Democratic Republic of Congo, they are set to play in Atlanta on June the 27th, less than a month away now. You're looking live at Atlanta Stadium, looking beautiful for the start of the World Cup tournament. The Congo will take on the Uzbekistan for one of the 8 matches that will be played here in Atlanta. When we continue, we're going to take a look at our weather. Looks really nice out there. We woke up to a chilly morning outside. We're going to talk to meteorologist Alex Forbes about how long this unseasonable weather will continue when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. A busy afternoon here in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. I'm Tom Haynes, live here with you for the 3 p.m. streaming hour on Fox Local. Certainly appreciate you streaming with us, whether you're on your mobile device, streaming through our mobile app, Fox Local, which you absolutely want to have on your phone, or if you're at home watching through one of your live channels on TV, we're certainly glad you're with us this afternoon as well, or in the car on the radio. We're on 107.9 HD2 FM. Certainly glad you're listening to us today. A recently signed law that would make certain county-level races are nonpartisan in 5 Democratic-leaning metro Atlanta counties is set to be challenged in court. That announcement was made this afternoon. Take a listen to just a small portion of what DeKalb County District Attorney Sherry Boston had to say about this.
Republicans here at the state capitol claim this new law is supposed to take the politics out of local races. But we know the truth. Republicans here at the state capitol only want to take politics out of the equations in counties where they do not have a majority. There will be no changes to the ballots in any of Georgia's other 154 counties. Republicans here at the state capitol want to make it harder for voters in our counties to choose the people who best represent us and our values.
The lawsuit was filed in Fulton County's Superior Court, and the state has 30 days to file a response. We have some sad news from the music world this afternoon. It's mourning the loss of one of its most recognizable voices. 2-time Grammy-winning artist Peabo Bryson died at the age of 75, just days after suffering a stroke. His family says that he passed away Tuesday, surrounded by loved ones. This started circulating on social media not too long ago. Pictures of Peabo Bryson in which he didn't look well. Bryson was best known for his iconic Disney duets, including Beauty and the Beast with Celine Dion and A Whole New World from Aladdin with Regina Bell. His career spanned more than 4 decades with 20 albums and hits including If Ever You're in My Arms Again, Can You Stop the Rain, and Tonight I Celebrate My Love for You. I could just hear those songs playing in my head. Bryson had deep ties to Georgia as well. He recorded for Atlanta-based Bang Recordings early in his career and lived in the Atlanta area. His family says that while they are heartbroken, they take comfort in knowing his music and legacy will live on for generations to come. Peabo Bryson, dead at the age of 75. Let's shift gears, talk about the weather outside and the extraordinarily beautiful day that we're having right now after seemingly rainy, humid, warm, muggy days for what felt like forever. Well, that has changed dramatically this afternoon as we wake up to Alex, what felt like kind of an early to mid-spring-like morning out there with cool temperatures, dry conditions, and nothing but sunshine.
Well, and so I find this picture, I'm not going to lie, pretty hilarious because there's like one cloud. It's right there next to you on the screen.
It's got to represent.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's one cloud right now. I've been mesmerized by this camera all day, though, because they've been putting this thing up on the Peachtree Plaza all afternoon. It looks like it's about halfway done. It's one of those advertisements for the World Cup. I don't know what it's for yet, but they're doing that there. They just did a big Coke one on the Signia. So signs of the World Cup coming. I tell you what, let's get on over to the 7-day forecast here. And what we're going to do is talk about a drying trend that's going to continue here over the next couple of days. 83 today, 85. That's tomorrow, 85 on Friday. It's always a 3 o'clock shift from today to tomorrow. That's when we update the forecast. But look, the drier air is not here to stay forever. Never is, right? But, it's summer after all. We live next to the Gulf. We live next to the Atlantic. Naturally, humidity is going to return as our winds shift direction. So for the next couple of days, it will be dry. But then by the time we get to Sunday, that's when showers and storms are going to return to the picture. Temperatures closer to where they should be for this time of year, right? June's mid-80s, beginning June, mid-80s. And that's where we'll find ourselves by Saturday and Sunday. For the weekend, by and large, Saturday, the pick of the weekend. Sunday will feature some storms. Not everybody's going to get wet, but it's going to be one of those days where I think if you get the right conditions, you can see a flare-up of activity into the afternoon, and then we remain unsettled into next week. Notice Tuesday, I don't have the little lightning icon there. That's just rain. I would expect Tuesday to be somewhat similar to what we saw last week, where when it's not rainy, it's just cloudy, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, but not a great weather day. And then we kind of get back to that summertime pattern there on Wednesday. But by and large, look, tomorrow morning, sign me up, right? Like, it is going to feel fantastic outside across Metro Atlanta and North Georgia.
It's, you know, we're going to hang on to these next 3 days because I have a feeling you guys always put one of those little clouds on the weekend day, Saturday, just to CYA, okay?
I think there's going to be some clouds around, though.
Do you really?
Yeah, so Saturday is going to be kind of that transitional day of the humidity building back in.
Okay.
It's just not going to yield showers and storms just yet.
Gee, you got me all excited for what would be a beautiful, perfect day on Saturday like it was today. But
well, I'll tell you what, I'll go in and update the Saturday forecast. If we could punch back up that 101 Marietta camera of the skyline here real quick. I'm going to go put that one cloud
okay. I'll look for that on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex, thanks so much. When we come back, going to talk MARTA safety as we embark on the World Cup. You know, our minds are still reeling from what happened over the weekend with that fatal stabbing of that elderly woman on board the MARTA train and how horrifically she was murdered. We're going to talk to an expert from the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, who's going to talk to us about public transportation and how you can stay safe, what to look out for if you're on a train or any kind of public transportation when we come back. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. I'm Tom Haynes, live in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom. Want to talk about MARTA and the horrific events which, as you know, happened last weekend. The stabbing of an elderly woman, an unsuspecting passenger on board a MARTA train, stabbed to death in just such a horrific way. You know, in days, MARTA is going to be the front door to Atlanta for the World Cup games, but some riders are questioning their safety on board rapid transit like MARTA. The concerns come after that 66-year-old was stabbed to death. One rider telling Fox 5 she was on a train that passed through Oakland City Station after the attack and saw the bloody scene there right on the platform. When asked if she feels safe riding MARTA, of course, no surprise, she didn't hesitate. She said no, but added she has no choice because she relies on MARTA like so many other people to get around. We requested an on-camera interview with MARTA after that event to talk about security and and the events which led up to that murder, but they did not get back to us. They did release a statement saying that it has a robust World Cup service plan in place. So the horrific attack on board that MARTA train has prompted us to reach out and ask an expert about safety on board rapid transit. So joining us now is Matt Osborne, a former CIA officer and security instructor with U.S. Concealed Carry Association. Matt, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. How was this elderly woman sitting there on the train trying to get to where she needed to be supposed to expect something like this happening to her? She was a completely unsuspecting victim, and this attack came out of nowhere. Did she have any defense whatsoever?
I tell you, Tom, it is just so sad to see now what is happening in our society, and these random senseless acts of violence are really on one spectrum of the attack and threat umbrella, if you will, and another is on the these casualty, mass casualty events, and we'll talk about in a second with the World Cup. But everything I've seen on this horrific incident, this woman was just going about her daily business and was just attacked and stabbed horrifically. So what we teach at the USCCA is that these threats are out there, and as great as law enforcement is, and they are, I think they would admit they can't be everywhere at every time. So what we say is oftentimes when seconds count and when seconds matter, help may be minutes away. So we teach personal security, situational awareness. And what I would invite your viewers to consider is be intentional with your observations. Be aware of distractions, the cell phone. And again, I have no indication that Mrs. Swan was doing that, and we don't obviously have any reason to think that she could have done anything differently. But when you think of Atlanta now getting ready to host 8 World Cup matches, this is a wonderful event. I encourage all to go and attend these events and be part of it, but keep your head on a swivel. Keep your eyes open and know what you will do if you see something that just gives you that pit in your stomach, the hair standing up on the back of your head. Make sure you know how to protect yourself and your family, and hopefully alert law enforcement.
There's so much to be said about gut instinct, right, Matt? I mean, if you're looking around, scanning a train or a bus or wherever it is you happen to be, and something just doesn't seem right, you feel weird in your gut about someone or something, you got to act like right away, even if it's ridiculous, right? Like, what are you talking about? That person's perfectly fine. But if you feel something, you got to act on that.
You know, Tom, you're absolutely right. And one of the things we teach at the USCCA is this danger of normalcy bias. Each of us, right, our minds, we bias towards normalcy. That man looks like he's acting strange. That woman's doing something that gives me the creeps. It's probably okay. There's probably nothing out of the ordinary. What you just said, Tom, you need to think, you need to not dismiss it, and you need to act. And that's what we encourage people to do. Now, I will say that anyone who thinks, well, no, that will freak me out, I won't be able to go about my life. That's not true. Think about the level of awareness you have when you're driving, right? Defensive driving, you're looking around, you're being ready for threats that might happen. That's exactly what we're talking about here at the USCCA with this situational awareness. Everyone can do it, but it does take practice.
My 16-year-old is learning how to drive right now. It's a terrifying experience in and of itself, but I'm always telling her, your eyes in the car have to constantly be moving around, looking at everybody else, all right? Because it's not you that's going to cause the accident, perchance, but maybe somebody else. Same exact thing on a modality of public transit, just as you've outlined for us. You know, you mentioned FIFA World Cup. We here in Atlanta are so excited for the games to come here. We're days away now. But this is going to put massive pressure on our mass transportation grid, if you will. From your experience with major international events like this, what are the primary security vulnerabilities going into FIFA World Cup?
The primary vulnerability is just the mass amount of people who will be there. And you said it. Think about Atlanta hosting 8 games. I'm in Dallas. They're going to host a number of games as well. It is just this small percentage of people who would do anything as horrific as we saw on Saturday. But when you have so many people coming together, the threat is increased. So the mass amount of people who are there, you have people from different areas, different amounts of money, different amounts of wealth that can become targets. And I'll end with this point, unfortunately, those who would try to cause a mass casualty attack, they want mass media attention. They want mass damage inflicted. And unfortunately, can you think of anything else other than the Super Bowl that would bring it? No, it's the World Cup. And that's one of the threats I think that law enforcement, I know that law enforcement is really worried about and focused on.
Matt, before we let you go, as just an aside here, we're all looking for ways to protect ourselves. Maybe there's a situation that we're in that we can't get away from. So are there any sort of practical personal protection methods that we can employ ourselves to protect ourselves from a threat or an attack?
Again, I think you and I have already talked about it too, that keep your head on a swivel. If something feels wrong, it probably is wrong. You need to say something. Just a quick plug, our website, uscca.com, has a variety of trainings precisely on this, including what to do to protect yourself on mass transit. The World Cup will be safe. I truly believe it. I'm planning on taking my family to FanFest. I hope your listeners will go to Centennial Olympic Park and enjoy it. Maybe Mercedes-Benz Stadium, or I guess Atlanta Stadium, right? Enjoy the World Cup, but always keep your wits about you. Always make sure you know what should be there and what looks out of place. Protect yourselves and your families, and everyone I know will have a great and safe time.
Great information, Matt Osborne, former CIA officer, security instructor with the U.S. Concealed Carry Association. Matt, thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, as we move on here and shifting gears, hundreds of Atlantans are celebrating a major career milestone today at the Georgia Aquarium. They are graduating from Goodwill of North Georgia's no-cost training program, ready to step into high-demand fields like welding and phlebotomy. Let's get out to our Maria Guzman now, who's live with one of those graduates. What an inspiring group of people in an event that you're at, Maria.
Hello.
Just with me.
Okay.
Hey, Tom. Yeah, it's really exciting. And I actually have the graduate of the year, George, which one is a huge honor. So first, congratulations. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. Feeling accomplished.
I mean, that's a big title to hold. So when you learned about it, just what went through your mind?
When I first learned about the program, I really wanted to find out exactly everything that it had to offer. So as I did my research, went in, talked to some people, and saw what was available, I was excited to get involved because I knew I could get some things accomplished.
Just walk me through your motivation and the big why. I know you mentioned in your story that you didn't finish college, so you wanted to rewrite it. So just walk me through that big why.
That was the main reason. My big reason is wanting to finish school. And then when my son, when he graduated from high school and got into college, and I saw him go through his whole curriculum and actually graduated on time, it motivated me to get back and to finish, because I can't have my son doing it and then I not do it.
Yeah.
So that was one of my main motivations to get back and finish what I started.
And what are you doing now? Because I learned that you do have a job once you completed the program.
Yes. So right now I am the city manager for the city of Atlanta. I do drone deliveries for Walmart. So as of right now, I manage 14 different locations throughout the city of Atlanta.
And before this job, what were you doing?
Before this job, I was a yard driver for I was a yard driver for a produce warehouse. Okay. And I did that for about almost a year and a half.
Okay. What led you to say, I have this job, but I want to do something else. I want to change, just my career path.
I was working too many hours to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And I wasn't spending time with my family. And that was my main reason to come off the road from being a truck driver, to spend more time with my family. So I knew I needed to get more certifications. I knew I needed to get my degree in order to make that happen.
For our viewers who don't know, just talk about how you and your son actually pushed each other while you were completing the program.
So when my son found out that I was doing this program and I was actually taking the steps to finish school, he told me that it was motivating him to finish because he was getting a little discouraged. And so before I knew it, we were pushing one another. When he saw the grades that I were making and the certifications I was getting, it motivated him to keep strong and keep going. And now he's wanting to go get his master's because he knows I'm about to complete and get my degree.
So you're going back to college, is that correct?
That is correct.
So when are you projected to finish that degree?
My projected graduation date is October of 2027.
That's huge. You know, for anyone who is hearing your story, what do you want to say? You know, perhaps they never finished high school or college, but are hearing your story and how you've made a change.
The biggest thing I would say is don't give up. Never give up. Always believe in yourself and keep pushing. Never give up.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank
it is
you.
so awesome
Thank you.
to hear about your story. So
Thank
Tom,
you.
it's just been a really exciting day for all these graduates. So I'll send things back to you.
Exciting is right, Maria, because I know all of them know that even with AI out there, and I'm interested in, real quick in his thoughts on AI in the workforce, they can step out with the skills that they've learned into the workforce and almost immediately find employment.
Yeah, so I have a bonus question for you. You know, with AI being a big conversation, do you feel like that is a threat, or do you feel like you've gained the skills that you will be secure for any future job?
I feel it's a combination of both. I feel there's a lot of great things with AI. I feel like in the wrong hands, it can lead to a lot of negative things. But I think with anything, you know, there are pros and cons, and you just have to find that balance.
Yeah.
And that's why I stand with AI.
Yeah, and I just feel like it sounds like you also have worked a little bit of everywhere, so your experience is very well rounded as well.
Yes, indeed.
Awesome. Tom, I'll send things back to you.
It's inspiring hearing from that gentleman and seeing all those graduates behind you as they get ready to launch into the workforce with these incredible skills. Maria Guzman, Maria, thanks, and congrats to all the graduates out there. Hundreds of Atlantans are getting set to head out into the streets. They're going to transform a massive outdoor stage this weekend for the return of the Atlanta Street Fringe Festival. Let's get out to Eli Jordan, where more than 24 eclectic artists are going to head out there. This is your neck of the woods out there, Little Five. Tell us more about the festival happening this weekend.
Well, I mean, the Fringe Festival, Atlanta Fringe Festival, started last weekend, and with all the busking going on the weekend and all that, but then throughout the week, the work week, they've got shows going on at different venues, theaters and stuff, and then this weekend, they're going to have all the busking going on with the shows going on at the different theaters all over East Atlanta area, and I'm here in Little Five, and I am right at the epicenter, ground zero of the Atlanta Fringe Festival here at 7 stages here in Little 5 Points. It's just right down the way from the Variety Playhouse, and I am with 7 Stages production manager Kai Lewis. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, hey.
So you've had a busy week so far already, right?
Oh my gosh, ripping and running. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere.
So you guys have 6 performances here tonight. You have 2 stages, and same thing tomorrow, and then same thing Friday, but then Saturday things kick off at 1:45, and you got like 10, 15 performances going on, and same thing on Sunday. But it's a really good weekend to catch a performance, isn't it?
Absolutely. Come and see whatever you can find, whatever resonates with you. We're here to just really support local artists and kind of give them an upliftment within the community. We've got 2 spaces in our building, 7 stages, our main stage and our black box. And our main stage will have on Saturday about 5 performances, and then in the black box we'll have 5 as well. Sunday it's a bit more smaller because, you know, it's the last day. So come out this weekend right before we end.
And what's really cool, though, I mean, these are, you pay admission to get this, but the admission goes to the performers.
Yeah.
All of it, 100%, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, these are paid. You can get package deals if you go to atlantafringe.org and check that out. But at the same time, if, you know, you've got something coming up, you can just wait around and check out the buskin', go shopping, support your local business, all that good stuff, and then come catch whatever you want to catch over here at 7 Stages or wherever, right?
Exactly. We've got a local coffee shop and bar attached to our building called Java Lords. You're welcome to stop by there, hang out, work on your computer if you've got a little extra weekend work that you need to do, and just kind of see and shop and see what's happening around Little 5.
And 7 Stages, you know, since we're here talking with you at 7 Stages, it's been around for about 50 years.
Yes.
And you guys do a Youth Creates, right?
Yes, we have a teen program for ages 12 to 18 called Youth Creates. We create a show in 5 weeks from scratch. That's the dancing, that's the music, that's the script, everything you can think of, lighting design, we created as an ensemble together.
And if people want to check that out and get involved, they go to the number 7stages.org, 7 stages, the number 7 stages.org, 7stages.org. And so tell me, how excited are you for this weekend and, you know, doing the Atlanta Fringe here?
Oh, we're so excited. We always love having them here with us in our space. They're old friends of ours. One of the curators of the festival is actually a Youth Creates alum, a part of the original group out of Horizons, the school Horizons. So yeah, we're always excited to have them around. We have a co-production agreement with them, and we just kind of let them come and do what they do in our space.
So AtlantaFringe.org.
Yes.
7 stages, the number 7, 7stages.org.
Correct.
And 7 o'clock tonight, tomorrow night, and Friday night, and then everything kicks off at
1:45 on Saturday and 1:45 on Sunday.
How late you going on Saturday?
Saturday we go until 10:30.
So there's going to be all sorts of stuff. And then, of course, out here on the streets of Little 5 Points, you'll catch all sorts of wild busking going on, street performers, jugglers, probably a lot of, you might even see some fire breathing. Who knows?
Who
what
knows?
We see. Yeah. And but also, too, you guys have some aerial acts going on at 7 stages, don't you?
Yes, we do. On a couple of acts, a part of the Fringe Festival, that'll be a part doing some aerial work. We tend to do all kinds of circus and live performance here at 7 Stages.
Just like, you know, just like what Little 5 Points has to offer.
You know, we're a little quirky, a little
bit of
weird.
carnival atmosphere,
Yeah.
circus, you know, a little bit of a freak show, maybe.
You know, fiercely weird is what we like to
I
call it.
can say that, you know, because I used to live here. I lived here for 10 years. Well, Kai, thank you very much. Kai Lewis, production manager of 7 Stages. You can go to 7stages.org for more information, or you can go to atlantafringe.org to see the lineup. It's a big lineup, Tom. I mean, they got a lot of stuff. They got 2 stages here. They're going to have performances going on tonight, tomorrow, Friday night. You can also catch performances at the supermarket on Highland, and you can also go to Dynamic El Dorado and the Metropolitan Studio East Atlanta. Those are the other venues. Those are paid venues, $18 per show. All the proceeds go to the artists. The venues are keeping nothing, and but they're getting you out to check out the venues. But also, too, you can get package deals at atlantafringe.org, or just come out here this weekend and check out the free busking on the street and see the street performers. Tom, I'm going to kick it back to you.
I love a little eccentricity like Little 5 Points has to offer, and it's going to be a beautiful weekend to come out and do something like that. Beautiful weather.
Perfect weekend to come out, check out Little 5 Points if you've never been, and, you know, shop around. There's a lot to do. Little 5 Points, and the whole East Atlanta area. It's going to be a really cool place to be hanging out this weekend. I see a lot of it.
Good stuff. Eli Jordan. Eli, thanks. Welcome back to the 3 p.m. streaming hour here on Fox Local. Certainly glad you're with us this afternoon. A historic kennel property in Fairburn getting a major makeover, transforming 9 acres into a summer camp for city dogs. What's this all about? Let's get out to our Chris Rosenthal, who's on property, to tell us more. Chris?
Yeah, hey Tom, they are putting the final last-minute finishing touches on this property, getting ready to open it on Saturday, June 6th here. So yeah, it's a beautiful 9-acre property here in Fairburn off South Fulton Parkway, South Fulton and Short Road here, and it's really by the owner, Hilda Heckinson, and she joins me now. She's actually doing some work here, getting ready for that big festive party you guys are going to have here on Saturday. And tell me a little bit about this property. Tell me about why acquire this and what your vision is here.
I just the minute I got here, it's a special property. It spoke to me. It's, even though it was totally overgrown and falling apart, I could just see what this had once been, and I wanted to bring it back to its former glory.
Yeah, and speaking of what it once been, I mean, you uncovered a lot of history here. Talk to me about some of that.
Yeah, so this kennel was started in the 70s by Liz Pruitt. It was former Celebrity Kennels. It is a large boarding kennel for with indoor-outdoor runs. It has huge outdoor play areas. It has a big cattery for cats. There's going to be grooming, daycare, boarding. She would actually house the Beagle Brigade here, which is the U.S. Department of Immigration. You know, the little cute beagles that come and sniff your luggage when you come from abroad to make sure you don't bring any fruit and vegetables you weren't supposed to.
Yeah, and these are some of the pictures that you found. These are sort of like playing cards with all the dogs here. These probably date back, what, maybe 70s, 80s, something like that.
Yeah, it was really fascinating.
And this is the owner, former owner here. This is Liz Pruitt here. So yeah, in fact, there she even is with Ronald Reagan. So a lot of history here, and you're keeping this going. Maybe we can step over here and
sure.
see what it looks like outside. They're still doing some of the work, but we can go outside here and take a look too, because again, this is 9 acres of a beautiful property here that dogs will be able to come and play and enjoy, huh?
Yes, absolutely. This is our huge fenced-in play yard. We have freshly painted play obstacles where we can't wait to bring our new guests. Hopefully they can have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got how many dogs can you have here?
So it's we can do around 60 dogs. It depends on, you got families. The runs are so big that you can have multiple dogs in each run. So if you have families, they can easily share a run. So that will bring it way above 60.
Noelle here, she'll be one of the managers here. And
yes,
so.
This is Noelle. She's been with me for 10 years. We started at Best in Show in Cascade Road. Manager here. She's my right hand. I know everything will be in good hands with her on board.
And sort of summer camp for city dogs. Talk to me about that concept there.
Well, you can actually drop your dogs off at our Cascade location if you want to, and we can transport them down here. So that's kind of how we came up with it. It's kind of like a country club for dogs or a summer camp for city dogs.
That's a great way they can go run and play and get some of their zoomies out here, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, there's almost unlimited space here. A lot of the places in the city, they have limited outdoor areas, and there's outdoor areas in abundance here. So.
And this is only a small part of it. I mean, there will be trails, there's other sections of it. And I think it was another interesting thing, we talk about the history of this. They also had St. Bernards here too, huh?
Yeah, she raised St. Bernards, champion St. Bernards. We found lots and lots of trophies and photos of these really beautiful St. Bernards. So
does that history make it even more special to you, huh?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Doing her some honor. So people want to come out to the grand opening event this weekend, what can they do? What will be here?
Please come out Saturday from noon to 4. Last scavenger hunt starts at 3:30. There's free ice cream, hot dogs. There will be prizes. Spin the wheel, get free daycare, boarding, grooming, cat stays. There'll be tennis balls, frisbees, all kinds of goodies. There'll be ice cream for the dogs, popsicles we have. So yes, come on out. It'll be a good family event.
All right, well there you go, family event. Also, your pets are invited as well. So yeah, right here, Best in Show, South Fulton Parkway and Short Road on Saturday from noon to 4.
What a great, safe, fun environment for our furry friends, our fur babies, as a lot of people call them. And I love that you can drop your dog off at, what did she say, the Cascade Road location, and they will transport your dog up to summer camp. I'm assuming their prices and the terms are all outlined sort of on their website, correct, Chris?
Yeah, you have all the prices, everything. That's all online, right? Is that all that outlined there?
Yep.
All right.
There's a Facebook event page.
Cool. Awesome. So yep, so they've got all that there. So
all right. Good stuff. Chris Rosenthal for us this afternoon. Chris, thanks. Thanks for checking in with us here for the 3 p.m. streaming hour on Fox Local. I'm Tom Haynes. Don't go anywhere. The news continues right here, right now.